I choose now.
Okay.
We are live.
What's my
Hello.
choice? You.
Pikachu.
So you didn't find the Godzilla background. This is why we were late, Chad, is that, as you can see, the entire look of the podcast has dramatically changed because we now have a logo and everything. It's great.
Look, which way is it? Logo over there, top right corner.
All these wonderful technical
Chat, I am
achievements that StreamYard
incrementally
gives
trying
us.
to make this a professional stream, including by interrupting my host, the co-host.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
it's incremental professionalism. That's how it works.
In 10 years, we'll have an intro.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, we have been talking about doing one of those basically since we started.
Yeah, you and I are
occasionally-
both musicians.
Yeah, roughly once a year it comes up in conversation, and we think, oh yeah, we could just make a song, and then
That's not going to happen.
Just
never
never
do.
gonna happen.
Two musicians, no way. You're both lazy.
It'll take you 10
Absolutely,
years to decide on it.
It will take forever, maybe 5 years deep.
Yeah, maybe.
But today there are like a million little topics to talk about because there's no big topic. So I kind of summarized the title of today's show as discussing the summer of flops, because honestly, that's really what it's been. And this was the first one to come to mind, was Fantastic Four. It passed $500 million worldwide, but do not be fooled because it is a flop. It had an estimated $200 million budget. That's reported by Disney. It's more likely that it was around 350 million. Other reports are coming out, and that's before marketing. So it's a fucking huge flop. One of their tentpole names, Fantastic Four.
How does it compare to the other movies this summer, like 28 days later or years later?
Oh, I completely forgot that movie existed.
I did
Yeah.
too. I hated that movie.
I think that actually underperformed as well for the reported budget 28 years later. Everything did actually. Like I just saw the other day that F1 has passed Superman at the global box
Oh,
office.
that's
Crazy.
kind of messed up.
That's
Yeah.
shocking.
Like, I still don't even
know.
I think it deserves it. Yeah, it's not a great movie, but like I would much rather like hype up F1.
Yeah, it's predictable.
Right, which
Yeah.
also at least does something new in terms of like what's like technical feats, right? Because they designed brand new cameras for that movie versus Superman, which is just
Shit.
it's just autism on screen.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
But you still think a casual audience, if you just look on paper, Superman, such an iconic name, versus nobody even knows what F1 is unless you're into cars.
But I mean,
You would have
could even
thought
say
it
the
would
same
made
with
more money.
Fantastic Four, right? I mean, maybe Fantastic Four is not as iconic as Superman is, but you know, it is still one. It's the first family. Like these are the big recognizable names as opposed to generic car movie. And yet, here we are. I did have a quick look as well. Yeah, 28 years later, made $150 million worldwide on a $60 million budget. So
That's crazy.
that's kind of shit.
To answer the question also that was in the chat, I just read that today. It was off of Screen Rant, so take that with a grain of salt. But if Screen Rant is reporting that, and they said it was because of reshoots, if Screen Rant's reporting it,
Yeah, I mean, isn't
they're
the usual rule
shilling,
is like whatever they report, you actually have to usually up the amount, right? 'Cause
Right.
These outlets don't tend to take into account lots of little costs that spiral, like marketing budgets and things like that.
But it's weird because Ford versus Ferrari only got like what 300 million for F1 to do double that.
I mean, I can understand F1 doing better because you have to think about when it released, first of all. And that also has way more appeal, I would argue, than something like Superman or Fantastic Four. Like, Fantastic Four is really an IP that only, I guess, like comic fans really know because that's not really something a mainstream audience knows about. And then Superman is always an IP that resonates best with like American audiences. It doesn't appeal to an international audience.
Like
There's
Marvel.
Yeah, and like regardless of whatever Angelina Jolie tried to do, Brad Pitt still has a lot of clout everywhere in the world. So and they did their due diligence with all of the partnerships and the marketing for F1 on top of that. So I would argue that's easier to sell. Like when I went to go see it, there were a lot of women in my theater. There was actually an instance where like someone used their their Google like text to voice. It's like, how old is Brad Pitt?
I was about to say, yeah. My biggest takeaway from this F1 success is Brad Pitt's longevity as an actor. He's been
Right.
successful in how many different decades now?
Exactly.
Talented, and he's one of the few people that like a lot of people probably know of him at some point for his looks, but never really realized how talented he was. Like he's super talented and versatile. But like he's one of the most famous actors. Yeah, I still consider him underrated, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
I
I
would
get
agree
that.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this comment is pretty spot on. I feel that way about Superman as well. I think everyone just knows him, but no one gives a shit
Yeah, but I
at
think
all.
you cracked the code. You cracked the code. Yeah, people were just done. Like for the people who weren't really interested in Superman, the Snyder era just didn't do much for them. And then tonally, this whole James Gunn one, I just don't see this working for anyone except hardcore Superman fans. And even they weren't pleased with this. So,
But the worst thing is that Doomsday is supposed to be the setup to Doomsday, and no one really cares. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Doomsday is gonna do like Avengers anywhere close.
No, I think it'll hit $1 billion, but like Deadpool
Possibly.
and Wolverine, 1.3 billion, not the 2 billion or approaching 2.5 like Endgame was. Those days are long gone.
I think it'll crawl across the finish line.
The day that an Avengers movie doesn't make $1 billion is when we know it's all over. Like that is their big play. It's not even just Iron Man or RDJ. It's specifically the Avengers collaborations.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder though. Like I am starting to wonder, will it? I mean, we keep saying, oh, that'll probably do $1 billion, even if it just scrapes over $1 billion. Will it though? Like, can we be absolutely sure that it won't top out at say like 900 million or something like that? Because it's not only that everything leading up to it has been absolute ass. This movie is the thing which is supposed to tee it up, and this is not done well. Superman is a big ticket item, again, not done well. The only superhero movies coming out before that comes out are going to be, is it Supergirl comes out? Mostly we're crossing franchises here, but Supergirl comes out next year. Clayface comes out next year. And then Spider-Man now comes out before it next year. I think that's how this works. But
Spider-Man has the most potential because the last film got $1 billion.
Yes,
but then
almost
it's
2
by
actually.
Completely different people, and it's a very different proposition. If that doesn't do particularly well either, what I'm getting at is, in the minds of general audiences, the Marvel DC distinction isn't necessarily as important. And if every superhero movie before now and Doomsday comes out is crap and just underperforms, and there's no momentum behind the entire genre anymore, can we be completely 100% sure that Avengers Doomsday won't slightly fail to hit the $1 billion mark?
I think that we're forgetting the movie also has to be good.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like that Spider-Man movie, like Reaper was saying, is the best chance of getting a boost. But again, that's got to be top tier. It's got to be one of the best Spider-Man movies ever. Because you're comparing all that. Yeah, no way. You're comparing all that to Endgame that had 10 years of buildup and one of the best superhero movies ever with Infinity War. Everybody was going for Endgame after Infinity War. What is the hook here? You don't care about anybody.
The build-up, like, is Tobey Maguire going to be in it? Is Andrew Garfield going to be in it? We all knew. And that was a big major build-up. This one, it's like, we know the Punisher's in it. We also know Soy Hulk is in it. I think Yelena. I don't know why she's in it. Like, we got confirmed cameos, and everyone was like, why? Whereas in the other one, it's, we have no confirmation, but we all know Tobey Maguire is going to be in it.
And we had the fallout of Civil War going into Infinity War, and Infinity War the Endgame. There was continuity all the way through with things we were invested in. Like Tony, they didn't really do a great job of it, but Tony giving Cap the shield back in Endgame, was still a meaningful moment that had a long line of history to it. There's just nothing connecting me to Doomsday to where like I'll just show up and see what happens, but there's nothing really there for me to care, right? I don't know how anyone.
You said that you pointed out Infinity War had 10 years of build up. This has had one year.
Yeah.
Well, even if it does cross $1 billion Doomsday, it's like, look at the costs, the amount of cameos, the people. It's not going to make any money.
No. This movie is going to make.
They don't even know what's
so true. If this movie, Fantastic Four, that we're looking at right here, costs $350 million, can you imagine what the actual price tag is for these two Avengers movies?
It's gonna be some of the most expensive movies ever made. It has to be,
if not the most expensive film ever.
I think it was Dominion, like for a while, Jurassic World Dominion, because of all research or something. I think it was that. But with this, considering all the people that they're bringing in, there's just too like all the people that are gonna be bumping heads. Like I already heard that RDJ and Ryan Reynolds aren't getting along. The amount of things that can go wrong, I just think this is gonna be a disaster completely. And this might be the end of the MCU if they don't pull this off.
Oh,
This is-
Deadpool.
This is going to be a weird thing to add on to this too, but I'm just saying, like, when you look at something like, because Deadpool and Wolverine was the last major one to make a killing at the box office.
A killion.
$1 billion. Remember how meme worthy that was? And then you think of Spider-Man No Way Home before that. That was literally just a meme turned into a movie because of the different Spider-Men pointing at each other. So like, I'm just like, you look at all the has there really been anything meme worthy aside from Ironheart, which even most mainstream audiences don't care about?
Yeah,
Like,
those are
'cause
internal memes. Yeah,
that
we
is
know
a-
about those.
right, but that is a thing that gets people into the seats, right? It's like you see a meme and you want to watch the movie. Like Minecraft made $1 billion that way. I'm trying to think what else.
Well, it goes further back than that. My favorite one, probably one of my first examples, is Snakes on a Plane. Everybody went because of the stupid line from the commercial.
Right.
You
And
know?
then at
It-
least
it happens.
right. And like if we're looking at like peak like Infinity War Avengers stuff, it was all of the Thanos memes that drove a lot of people to have interest in it as well, right? So
Yeah.
like Marvel just doesn't have any cultural relevance, like outside of just is it a good movie or anything. Like nobody cares for these anymore.
And they're
Well,
associated with bad writing at this point.
I was giving a big speech to my girlfriend's mom about why these movies suck. She's like, why do you make a living doing this? And I was like, let me clue you in.
Did you stand up and she's sitting down
Yeah,
and
but
just
before-
moving over?
She totally was on board with it. She's like, wow, that sounds very anti-male. And I was like, yeah. And then we it couldn't have played out better. We went over to her next door neighbor's house, and like they have a couple little kids come out, and my girlfriend's mom asked the kid, like, hey, do you like Marvel movies? And he goes, I used to. I don't like them anymore. I was like, yes.
That's
Yes,
it.
this
It's
is
simple.
ideal.
Kids
You
don't
just
have
like-
to piece all those components together. They just know these used to be good, and for me, now they're
Yep.
not. It's just
Yep.
Are you just gonna go like door to door, just lecturing people about Marvel?
Excuse me, can I tell you why Marvel sucks now?
Oh my god, that is funny though. But no, kids are really. That's where you get the truth. Like they're the best source for just just seeing what's going on in pop culture, because they
Right.
really they don't hold back. There's no filter, and they're eager to tell you exactly what they think about almost anything.
Mhm.
And the kids that grew up with Marvel used to watch Marvel all the time, never miss one, and then now they don't even know what phase it is, could barely care less. Like it's a big difference. Like my brother used to be one of those guys who would watch a Marvel movie always on his birthday, would never miss anything. Now he couldn't care less and has no idea of the continuity. And
It
they've
was
lost
the
so many
splitting
fans.
up into the TV shows.
Yes,
Where you
that's where they're at.
diverse. That's literally it. And then people just went, I'm not going to watch like Moon Knight
Yeah,
and all these other TV shows, which are all terrible. Even if they were all good, it's still splitting up attention. That extra click, that extra effort,
yeah.
it's like half your audience goes away.
Asking someone to watch 8 episodes of a show versus watching a movie is a big ask, and you have to make sure, like, unless they're invested in the character, it's going to be very difficult. And the worst part about it is that the amount of shows made people not want to check them out and then lose continuity. But if they watch the shows in the first place, they'd be even more confused because the shows are so fucking terrible. I always say this, like, it just like WandaVision makes multiverse even worse. Secret Invasion has nothing to do with the Marvels. It's just pretty much a waste of time. So
It's the same as YouTube to Rumble. If we all did this stream on Rumble, you'd get like a fraction of the followers because people won't make that extra step.
yeah.
And everyone too, Despot will be here. He's just in Korea, so we needed to accommodate the fact that it's 5 a.m. where he is right now. So he'll probably pop in around halfway through, but I'm going to convince him to stay for after dark as well.
I just don't think that's an excuse. I was still working at 5 a.m. this morning. Fuck him. Where is he?
What was next? We have a ton of slides, so it might even bleed into After Dark. But another flop. I
really like this one.
This
one
one,
is so
yeah.
funny.
I can't
This
believe
was
this one.
hilarious.
What?
The highest grossing DC movies of all time. Yes, I normally do top 11s.
I just I will forever be baffled how Aquaman made that much money. It's just like, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, what the
I can
fuck
tell
was
you.
that?
I
Yep.
can tell you because this is the only reason I went to go see it. Wet, shirtless Jason Momoa.
That's the obvious theory. What other than that? What it can't
No,
just be that. Like, it can't just be that.
I'm dead serious. I remember going to see that movie with a girlfriend during Christmas break, and not only was the cinema packed, it was packed full of just women.
Wow.
So like I could like
Really?
women going to just see movies for a hot guy is a legitimate thing.
But what about Thor: Love and Thunder, where you get to see Chris Hemsworth's ass?
Well,
That's
Thor's
when
an
you get the money.
interesting one because like Thor is what like most guys would want to be, right? You're all powerful. You look literally like you were carved out of, a Greek statue and whatnot. And there's enough to appeal to a female audience there. But Aquaman, as long as I have been alive, Aquaman has always been one of those characters that was always the butt of a joke when it came to comic book characters. So for them to cast like this really hulking, like attractive dude and just have him always glistening and shirtless was, that's a pretty big deal. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like
Aquaman 2.
Yeah, they all became gay for Aquaman 2 or something. Like, I have no idea what happened. Like, that just dropped off completely.
to
You'd
be
think the
fair-
trick would work twice to some degree.
Right. And like with Aquaman 2, I think the bigger problem was that they announced all of the James Gunn stuff like a couple months before that movie came out. So any other momentum it could have was like, oh, I'm not going to see this character in anything else anymore. So why would I care about this regardless sort of deal? If they had held off on the James Gunn announcement, I think that movie would have done a little bit better. But even then, I
Maybe.
think it still made like 600 million or something at the global box office.
That's funny because the Aquaman 2, which everybody knows is completely pointless and a bit of a bomb, made roughly the same amount as Superman did. So well done, Superman. You're holding up the end. Also, I mean, I guess there's a bit of diminishing returns going in because once you've had your fun and satisfaction flicking the bean to the first Aquaman, do you really need to? I mean, is it going to be the same when you do it again?
Yeah.
Have you not just had that thrill? Is it not time to move on?
Exactly. You've already come all over the theater. You're not going to do it again.
Right.
Already as wet as it's going to be.
It's just drenched.
Also, there was all the Amber Heard drama on top of that because remember how they cut her out of basically all of the movie? Like, yeah, they left her in for like 2 scenes. So just like there were a lot of other factors working against it, and then you also had like 5 years between releases on top of that. Like usually the turnaround for something like that is 2 to 3 years. I also like that none of this list is adjusted for inflation.
Yeah,
it is cool seeing the 2 Jokers side by side there. Like both of those guys just fucking nailed it. They deserve to make that money. But
I think that this shows Superman is not a fucking bankable superhero, man. He's just not.
Yeah.
He's never been, and he's just like the Fantastic Four, where he's very visible. Everyone knows who he is, but no one really cares because he just comes off as boring. I don't care if you have an argument that he's a really nuanced character. Most people perceive him that way. That's just what it is.
He's the main superhero I would think of that only appeals to like comic book fans and like superhero fans, where Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, they have more casual appeal where people could be like, oh, I see why this character's popular. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Superman just...
But could you?
I don't know. There's just not much to work with me personally with them.
But could you compare him to Iron Man? Because Iron Man movies didn't make that much, but they were very relevant.
The third one made $1 billion. No Superman movie, even with Batman's help,
and
has
then
made $1
I think
billion.
adjusted for inflation, the first Iron Man made 800 million.
Yeah.
So and it was the beginning of the entire superhero thing. That we've had 2 decades of this now to get established with these characters and this genre and everything. And the idea that they're not very well established in public imagination doesn't wash anymore. It's just that Superman is the most established, one of the most established in public's imagination, and the public's imagination has consistently said, it's all right, I guess. But he's even less bankable than he used to be, according to this, because not adjusted for inflation, Man of Steel made more money, quite a significant amount more money, and now he's even less. So it's not just, I think, that Superman is like a new Superman, or it is just he is a little bit dull and boring. The film is also complete dog shit, which doesn't help, and all the other superhero movies have been as well. So what's the interest there?
How many Superman movies have there been? Like 10, where Iron Man had more of an Iron Man had more of an impact on the industry with one film than Superman did with like
even a Captain America movie hit $1 billion.
Yeah,
just Oh,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead. No, go ahead.
Ah, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Just from a comic normie perspective, this is just how I've always viewed Superman, more or less. It's like I always saw him as that one character is like, oh, he doesn't have that power yet. Let's just give him that power because he can do literally everything. And when I look at the rest of this list, like all of these characters, with the exception of Man of Steel, which you can say is a bit of a benchmark because that was the launch of the DC universe originally. All of these characters have something that can be personally relatable to every audience member. Like Batman is the best case example. Yeah, he's given riches, but he has like such an interesting internal conflict about what is right or wrong that I think most of us can reconcile with in some way or another. But with Superman, it's just like, yes, I understand that in maybe his animated shows or in his comics, he's probably given that same sort of strife, but to a mass audience like myself who doesn't pay attention to that, I just see him as a guy that can do everything. So it's like, how can you make an interesting story about a guy that he has everything available to him?
100%.
Literally.
It's like he's got all his stats at 100 from the beginning. He's the dude who can fly around the world and reset time anytime he fucks up. And the Superman movie with James Gunn, you honestly have to treat that movie like he doesn't know how to use his lasers because it breaks almost every scene he's in. Why aren't you using your lasers?
I mean, when he does use them, but he uses them at the end, but not in the beginning when it would have been helpful. Like, does the dude have X-ray vision or not? I don't know. Does he have super hearing or not? I don't know. Will he have these powers in the next movie? Probably yes. Will that break this movie even more? Yes, it will.
Exactly.
And I don't think James Gunn is going to take account of that. One of the really interesting things about the Superman movie, and I'm sort of basically finally at the end of the script for that one now, is you can do stuff. You can make him interesting in the way that we've described with characters like Batman and Iron Man and that, but you need the Clark Kent side of his character in order to do that. And this movie quite deliberately just eliminates any distinction between them. Clark Kent isn't really a character in this movie. There's the obvious traditional thing to do, and it is slightly boring and traditional, but it's traditional because it works, is that you have Lex find out Superman's real identity and he goes after his adoptive parents, for example, or he goes after Lois Lane. He goes after Superman's human weakness, like the relationships that Clark Kent has, and that's what makes Superman a more interesting character, because you've actually introduced the human element that this movie pretends exists but doesn't. And this movie doesn't do any of that. The adoptive parents aren't in it. Lois Lane is not really in the A plot at any point. She's just sort of comments on it occasionally. Nothing that Superman actually values is threatened, with the exception of the dog, which he finds instantly because Lex is a twat and doesn't just kill it. There is no human character. And then the end of the fucking movie has Superman say, "Oh, my greatest strength is my humanity." Okay, I would have liked to have seen that at some point in this film.
That's such a good point, man. Superman without Clark Kent is a boring fuck, and all the quality comes from that side of it. And I think you just kind of summarized what I adore about Batman Begins. It's like the most underrated superhero movie, it feels like, because they nail the Bruce Wayne aspect of it. They really make you understand the man behind the fucking legend first. Where Superman is just like, there's so much of that movie that you have to go in as a Superman fan already with lore and context. Otherwise, it just kind of fails. The reason I always praise Batman Begins is if you skip the beginning where it says Batman, you can watch a character study for an hour and not even know it's a superhero film. You know?
Just to...
Superman, Superman actually can be sold to the public. Like the original Superman, adjusted for inflation, is 1.5 billion. That's how much it earns. And it spawned a lot of movies afterwards. Like, you can do a Superman right. It's just we haven't got one. We've had like 4 or 5 terrible ones. I think each one's worse than the last.
Pretty much,
that's probably true.
I think it speaks to Platoon's point that one of the most popular pieces of Superman content is Smallville, because it's focused on Clark Kent. Clark's just infinitely more interesting than Superman because of his dilemma and everything about growing up with this ability. But once he's mastered it and he's got everything, it's just like, what's the threat here? Even for me, I would like to know how the well-written aspects of Superman work when he's overpowered. Because
I would also argue that the reason why a 1970 movie made 1.5 billion adjusted for inflation as opposed to now is because that wasn't boring then. It was new and fresh. Well, now it's not. You need more nuanced characters. And in addition, like another comment said something about I'm seeing myself in the character. I think like the current crop of things is literally seeing yourself versus relating to the character.
Yeah.
That's the difference. There's a huge difference. Let me read the super chats as I pull it up. Sorry. Avarith says, adjusted for inflation, Superman 1978 made 1.5 billion. So don't think the argument that Superman is boring. So makes less. Isn't
there's so many other factors to take. Like you said, it was a new thing back then. The American sensibility, like just culturally and socially, was very different as well. On top of that, Christopher Reeve was like kind of an embodiment of everything great about America. And we're still, I think we're just around the time of post Vietnam. If we're in 78, 55 to 75, right, was Vietnam. So like when you have a character that embodies everything that's great about America after like a 20 years long war where like there was a lot of anti-American sentiment, that also helps prop up the character. But someone also mentioned in chat, like, oh, we all like Homelander. Like Homelander is the anti-Superman, but even he still has levies on him, right? He cares so much about public image and remaining in like a good good faith with the public.
As a child.
Homelander is infinitely more interesting than Superman. Literally just the shot in season 1 of him reacting to his, remember there was like a toy or a towel, something that he was super attached to, and he almost wanted to kill the guy for it. And you have those little shots of seeing him in the lab, in the facility. There's a whole backstory there that could have made him a brilliant character, but then he just became like a meme fest after that. But that little piece of Homelander is more interesting than Superman.
But there are interesting Superman stories, like Superman versus the Elite, which is old-fashioned traditionalism versus the new modern anti-hero shit. Like that would have been a great story to go back to traditional heroes, because these, especially after Man of Steel, after he kills God knows how many people in Metropolis.
Well, they had to address that in
Batman versus
Superman, where the very first at the beginning, where the beginning is basically Batman saving people, and like it's like a direct.
It was addressed because he was called out for it, and then Zack Snyder was like, no, it's totally gonna, that was gonna be in
James Gunn sounds like
it was fine. It was fine. They were out.
Like you see Metropolis looks like it's been hit by an asteroid, and he went, they only killed about 5,000 people. I'm like 5,000.
No, there's even a line in the movie. It's like, oh, that place was uninhabited. They have to just throw those in so they know nobody got murked. It's crazy. But even the chat is saying, like,
are full of people.
Yeah, he killed thousands and thousands. Like it was genocide. But even the chat's reminding me, we've had this topic come up, and there's just so many better examples of the Superman concept, from Saitama to Goku to freaking Neo to almost even, like we said, Clark Kent is the most interesting part of him. But I think if there are stories from the comic that are super compelling, we just haven't seen that on the big screen. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. And I think that's what people are tired of.
It doesn't help that the past 2 Superman films are done by people who love anti-heroes more. Zack Snyder, who's a fucking child, and James Gunn, who wanted to do the Authority, but basically has turned the Justice Gang into the Authority.
It's Superman and like Fantastic Four really should have done a flip, like because Superman is an outdated character in a lot of respects. Like any which way you look at it, like everything he represents is not something that we find or is relatable to literally anyone anymore. So this really should have been a movie that took place like in the 50s, 60s, or even 70s. And it should have been like a nostalgia grab in the sense of here's what we used to have, and here's a character that can bring you to that. Yeah. Fantastic. Like, so, right. Like it should have had an older setting instead, because that would just make everything about Superman more interesting.
It's either that or you bring the definitively old-fashioned values into the modern world without necessarily setting it back there. Because he's more like Captain America. Yeah, Captain America is a really good example of that. They have the very useful mechanical conceit, which is he is literally a man out of time. But you can still do that to a degree with Superman. You would have to lean on his upbringing in, like rural Kansas, and contrast that with the way the country is. The movie's like, it was vaguely aware that it wanted to have a message like that, but James Gunn doesn't understand anything about culture. So all he could do was, I like some corny rock bands. That's punk rock. Like, this is not what I want. You're missing the point. Like the original Superman, as has been brought up, I mean, it's not just Vietnam, but you also have Jimmy Carter depressing the fuck out of everybody in the late 1970s. And then Superman comes along, and because he's like America personified, so he has America's very human flaws, but he also represents the best ideal of what the country used to be and can be again. It's optimistic. You need to ground it in a human story to do that. and you need to play a contrast between his fairly rustic upbringing and a modern, more cynical world around him, and then show that the old-fashioned values, they can still work in the modern day. And actually, it's an uplifting thing. It reminds you of your roots, and it turns Superman into kind of like a cultural lodestone character. They did it with Captain America to a pretty successful degree, but they couldn't do it with Superman because James Gunn, like, he only really understands that this is formulaically what old movies did. So that you get, oh, let's have Lois lecture him about involvement in Middle Eastern politics because America doesn't like that at the moment. So, okay, what are you going to take away from that? What's the lesson? Oh, I know. Let's have a corporation go and murder a Jew. Yay, that solves everybody's problems.
Oh,
That's
Christ.
funny. That is actually true as well.
Yeah. I really wonder if they're ever going to address that. But what happened? Hawkgirl has 3 lines of dialogue in the movie, and one of them is a war crime.
Yeah.
Are we coming back to this? Are we actually going to address the fact that the thematic message of Superman is that foreign policy is bad when Superman does it or the government tries to do it, but when a corporation does it, it's great. Hooray for anarcho-corporatism. Let's go for that. Is that really what the movie was trying to say? I don't think it was.
It has
Because,
no
again,
idea what
James
it's trying to
Gunn
say.
doesn't know- Exactly.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I think it's
know. He doesn't
confused.
think.
He's trying to say all the things and please everyone. It just became a clusterfuck of a movie. I just don't know what the hell he was thinking with half of it, you know? It was the monkeys, the stupid little monkey. I'm like, okay, I can't even take this movie seriously at this point. Where, yeah, his insecurity and I just think the pressure got to him with this film. It's going to age horribly.
Dude,
It's already
have
aged
your-
horribly.
yeah, to have your villain shouting out commands like it's a
1A,
fucking keyboard.
1A, 1A.
Oh my!
It's
fucking
quicker.
God.
It's quicker to shout fucking punch. Punch is 1 syllable.
Seriously.
1A is 2. What are you doing?
It's just,
It's chess. It was built off of the foundations of chess.
it is just stupid. Like anyone who isn't a gamer isn't really gonna fucking. It's not gonna appeal to them. And anyone who is a gamer is gonna know how stupid that is because that's not gonna be as responsive as actually having a fucking button and facing the dude. It's just everything about it was dumb. It was like someone who's never played a game in their life trying to inject some gamer meta bullshit into Superman.
It actually would have worked better if you'd had one of Lex's goons with a PlayStation controller.
Yes,
and
just a
that's
stick.
how he's being controlled. That would have worked better. It's you could have commentary on what games are doing to people's psyche. Anything that is meaning would be nice in that.
Yeah,
film.
it could be
Yeah.
similar to the
Ocean
Titan
Gate
submarine.
callback
You
in
know?
there, right? They're doing the same thing.
It's so stupid.
Well, he kills Bizarro or whatever his name is, and he goes like, he's when you think about it, he's a mentally retarded slave, and he just threw him in a black hole, and then he
Yeah,
makes
no
a
thought on
joke
that.
afterwards.
No thought on that. Like they didn't. Oh my god,
It's not
man.
just a mentally retarded. It's a clone of himself. Arguably the closest thing to family he thought of. He's basically he could be a brother. Did he think about that? Given the movie until that point was like, oh, I've spent all my life trying to live up to what my adoptive parent, my real parents, sorry, and my home culture told me was right. And then the loss of that is supposed to be a big character-defining moment. And then the one person in the movie who is actually like him kicks him into a black hole and it's like, haha, lol. Oh, right.
Freaking Logan.
It's somebody can't move out of. Oh no, there's heavy bus.
Fucking stupid, man. I think Logan was more conflicted in killing his clone in the film Logan. Like that fucking was
He
way more
was,
impactful
yeah.
the way they did
When
that.
he walks up the stairs,
So much
he's
more
like,
effective.
yeah.
Look at the way he's looking him down, and he's just like he's processing what happened. It's just so much more effective in terms and what it says about him aging and just there's you can do this concept well, or you can just shit yourself with Superman and like kick him into a hole. Like I don't know, waste, complete waste. It's one of the only twists in the movie they could have done something with, and they just didn't seem to see it.
Yeah. And that is sort of one of the things looking at that list, with the exception of Aquaman, and actually, no, I think maybe Aquaman is the only exception. Everything else on that list tries to varying degrees of success to say something, or it has a character moment. Like it has a theme which means something. Even I can't believe I have to say this. Even the
Justice
Zack
League?
Snyder films attempt to do this. They do it badly, but they try. Because Snyder thought to make Superman interesting, we have to do something with him because Superman himself is boring. So he went and was insane. Obviously, it's Zack Snyder, giant penis spaceships, and then random other crap, and it makes no sense. But at least he tried, and like Superman, the James Gunn film just doesn't. So you come away from that film thinking this is probably the emptiest of all those films on that list, with the arguable exception of Aquaman.
What does that say about the audience? Because they, the people who did see it provided positive word of mouth, because the declines week over week were really small, all things considered.
There's a lot of cope and a lot of people who wanted to like this movie. They're tied to its success, and it's not actually about the quality of the movie. It's about beating the Snyder Bros or beating the Man of Steel fans.
Yeah,
It's this weird team mentality where the quality doesn't matter. It's just my side. This is my, this is where my side is. I'm gonna stick with it. I just don't get it. I prefer
I
the
love
way we do
movies,
things.
but I cannot fathom actually having them as my literal identity.
No, I will always put the movie before the genre. You know what I mean? Like I love horror, but I am a fan of storytelling first. I love Marvel, but stories come first. I'm not just gonna say it's good because there's Marvel in it. The reason I love Logan is because, man, I can this is fantastic. Like this is like such a nice slow burn, semi-thriller. It's using the continuity of the two characters, and it's just respecting them in a way that I wish every superhero movie would. Yeah, that's so much more respectful and appreciative.
But you listen to these people and they go, I'm going to watch Superman for the 10th time. I don't care. I love Silence of the Lambs. I'm not watching it 10 times in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're a weirdo if you do that.
Well, he reminds me of that guy who didn't Brie Larson take a picture of the Captain Marvel superfan who watched it 95 times or something. He looked like exactly what you would expect him to look like. And she went and did a photo op with him because he was a super fan. It's the same sort of thing. It's just less obviously cringe because there's more people in the cinema with you. But it is that kind of level of complete autistic delusion.
That's fucking insane.
If
There's
she
no movie in the
touched
world
him,
I want to watch.
I bet you a tenner the second she touched him, he probably had like mucus, like a slug. How gross he is. Fucking, how many times did he watch that movie?
No clue.
Like 40 times.
It was
something like that.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a
I
number
remember
of
some
times.
absurd number from what I remember, and it's like you've got a problem, bro.
Yeah.
Like even here, what's the most you've ever seen a single movie in the theater?
3.
I saw Return
Twice.
of the King 4 times, and that was extreme for me. But for me, I'm like, you know what? This is like the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's worth it. Fuck it. Everyone who's going, I'm like, I'll tag along, and I ended up seeing it 4 times. 40 times. It's like pretty fucked up. You know
How much
even
weed-
Lord of the Rings.
If it's like £10 a ticket, that's like 400 quid.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to see a movie you don't like multiple times in the theater?
in the
Yes.
theater?
I had to see Black Panther like 4 times.
Dang.
Yeah.
Why? Wait, why 4 times?
It's just like various situations, like my job at the time. Like I was bringing a client to see it. Like that was one time. I did see it of my own accord the first time, and I was like, "Fuck." But yeah,
Did that client hate you for taking them to see Black Panther?
It was
quit your
his
job, bro.
request, dude. Like,
How many people were guilted into seeing that movie and just like forced to fucking it was good. So no one calls them a fucking racist.
right? Yeah.
Awkward.
This was posted by the Hollywood Reporter, as if we don't know this, but summer box office clobbered by kryptonite. Domestic revenue barely matches last year. The May to Labor Day season initially soared, but global grosses took a nosedive as foreign movie ticket sales plunged further, and a glut of male skewing, they're blaming us, tent poles battled for scraps in the United States.
Wait, what? Which are these male skewing tent poles that I'm...
Because they have superheroes in it, it's automatically male skewing. I guess they missed the last 5 years.
Okay, what about the dinosaurs? Which way do they skew? Like, what the fuck? It's a bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, I mean, Jurassic World. Actually, if you want to say dinosaurs are male skewing, Jurassic World is probably one of the best performing of all the movies that have come out this year.
I think it is.
And that's depressing, but I wouldn't necessarily put that down to, well, that's male skewing, therefore it's good or bad. It's just shit.
Well, Jurassic World got 855 million.
Oh, God.
Nearly 900.
Shame, man. I'm happy that they're not making as money as the other ones, but the fact that they're still making a profit pisses me off because they're not going to stop. There's no reason not to stop. Yeah, they're good. But like, Dominion, man.
It's that series is truly law of diminishing returns. They lose 20% of their audience every movie, but they're one of clockwork.
They're one of the few franchises that were smart enough to take a break after Jurassic Park 3. They took a big pause and then did the whole world thing. You would think after Dominion, they would know this is too valuable of a franchise just to marvelize. Take another big break. Afterbirth wasn't worth that 800 million. I think in terms of what they could have gotten in the future had they taken a proper break. And
sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say the entire World trilogy just proved that all audiences want is to marvel at dinosaurs. So I think they took away that lesson 10 years ago.
No, it's I've been saying this for years. The second half of The Lost World was the end of substance in Jurassic Park. It's been all over since then. And yeah, you're right. People go there to see the dinosaur movie. It's the next dinosaur movie. Like how Saw is. They don't care what it is. They just know it's the next thing. Saw became that way. Marvel became that way. And it's a shame that it's attached to one of the best movies ever made. But it just drives me nuts that we're never going to get anywhere near that quality again. But people don't see the difference between them. They think Jurassic World Afterbirth, Dominion, and the first one are all the same. They're just dinosaur movies. What's the difference?
It is interesting going back, because I mean, I did this for the Jurassic World video, but there's a lot of stuff in Jurassic Park 3 that's actually just, I wouldn't necessarily say it's really good. It's just good enough. There is stuff in Jurassic Park 3 which is basically competent, understands the fundamentals of how writing is supposed to work.
Yes.
There's the obviously memeable shit stuff like the Velociraptor saying Alan, and that is grounds to dismiss the entire movie. But it's actually, if you compare it to any of the World films, it is miles better. There are characters in it. They will go on arcs. There's a theme kind of to it as well. It's a well-constructed movie by comparison with what we get now. And this is increasingly the theme. You go back to movies that were shat on at the time for being awful, because by the standards of their day, they were. And by the standards of our day, they look a lot better.
Terminator 3, Jurassic Park 3. Those are examples of OG bad movies where they're crap, but they're logical, they're consistent, they don't disrespect all the characters and shred all the continuity. They're just kind of crap. But then you look back at them and you appreciate them so much more because of how terrible things have gotten now.
Yeah.
It's so how much the quality has dropped between sequels.
Yeah, it's shocking. Some of the best, like the Jurassic Park conversation with Hammond and Ian Malcolm's famous speech. It's one of the best dialogue scenes in any film you'll ever see. I just remember how much it captivated my attention even as a kid, and I was invested in everyone's perspective. And it's just every scene in that movie is well constructed and intelligent, and the buildup of tension is amazing. And all the other films are just trying to rush past that to get to the dinosaurs. It's such a change in philosophy.
We use like Terminator. It's like Terminator 3. Let's do You Can't Avoid Judgment Day as a theme. Terminator Dark Fate. Let's murder John Connor. The motivations are just night and day.
But even in Terminator 3, Sarah Connor left guns for John. That's something she would do. The therapist, he had his cameo. It's like one of my favorite cameos ever, where he just runs away. Like, they still understood the continuity and the little things that should work. They didn't just shit the bed and murder John Connor at the beginning of the movie on the beach.
Like they say when you used to get a sequel to a movie, it had to fit in the framework. Now everyone goes, it was the soft reboot era, which is we can basically just do the first movie again, but replace everyone with Force Awakens. That's ruined everything, because that means all these franchises can be hollowed out and restarted by sacrificing what came before.
Yeah,
that's why all these things are just dead now. They're like used condoms. They're discarded afterwards.
If people could see the difference, like clearly, then this wouldn't be an issue. I think part of the reason Rings of Power had no impact, because everyone could see, okay, this is some bullshit. This is nowhere near Lord of the Rings. Like, just get out of here. But then there's a lot of people that can't see the difference between Jurassic Park and Jurassic Afterbirth. Like, it's just completely different. So
I love how it's just Afterbirth now.
Yeah, I was gonna
say the name.
It's just it's a terrible movie.
It's
a terrible movie, but
awful.
It's the dinosaur movie, and the distinction in quality isn't something that people will address. That's what bothers me the most. At least Rings of Power, we know it's crap. Everyone knows it's crap.
There's two things. The Jurassic World movies are at least smart enough to release every 3 years, so you start to forget them. Rings of Power, like, it's set so far away from the original that you can disconnect it. Like, The Hunt for Gollum is coming out, and Ian McKellen is, I think, signing on. That's going to be much harder to ignore.
Like,
I
part
think
of the
I read somewhere that
CLJ...
Frodo is going to be in that as well.
Yeah,
There's an Elijah Wood. All the cameos of all the old people. It just furthers my belief this is going to be Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but in the Lord of the Rings. It's the same mentality. They all want to go back to have a bit of fun. They don't have an idea for what to do with it, so the movie won't be very good, but at least you'll get to have some nostalgia.
Yeah. Like Mark Hamill thought he was gonna have a reunion with the whole cast, Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. He got completely tricked and cucked. And I think Dominion was probably the same thing. I bet fucking Alan Grant didn't think he was just gonna be cucked out the entire movie, a complete loser. So they just can't seem to get the OG nostalgia cameos right. So I have no faith in it.
I'm just I'm looking at some of the, because the woman writing this article blamed the we've moved on, never mind. Okay.
No, go ahead, Vex. Please look, it's back. I swear it's back.
Okay, no, she's just a glut of male skewing, but like I'm looking at some of the demographics, it's like just like 52% of Mission Impossible's audience was male. That's not even a huge difference.
That's not significant. No.
Right. Lilo and Stitch is mainly a female like IP, but that also had like a smidge more male viewing. Superman was obviously male, but
what do you think the percentage is of just like people bringing their boyfriends to like Barbie and Lilo and Stitch, and the percentage of men bringing their
probably
girlfriends?
a lot. I know a lot of guys that will only go to the movie theater if there's a movie that their girlfriend or wife or whatever will also agree to see, and it's usually the shittier movie.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of couples have to compromise on.
Right. There was some data that came out back in like June or whatever that so far, like for most of the box office releases, like it was an overwhelmingly female-led audience going to theaters this year. So women are actually driving the box office in 2025.
You mean driving
it
into the fucking ground because no
right.
one's going?
I think it's only like a smidge higher too. It's like 50-something%, but like it's mostly female.
Well, I think we're the elephant in the room. What about the fact that they were just shit? Like all the movies this summer were just crap, you know? Like that's the biggest component. We're talking about all the variables around it, but just the quality of the films we watched. The only one I liked that I saw this year in theaters was Weapons, like easily.
And that was a huge success.
Thank God.
Because it had a reasonable budget and positive word of mouth.
That should be the simple process. Just like you don't need crazy crazy celebrities breaking the budget for every film. Just give me an original idea, something unique, and just take it easy on the marketing. Just a low budget. It's just such a more pragmatic strategy than just doing the whole superhero $400 million thing over and over again and just expecting it to make $1 billion. It just doesn't seem like a good business strategy, and we're still doing this in 2025. It's crazy.
I know. I saw some other article, Cope, that I should have made into a slide of like why every superhero movie doesn't need to make $1 billion. It's like, tell that to the studios. They fucking budget them like they're supposed to.
Yep. They go in with the expectation that if we don't make $1 billion, we're fucked, which is crazy. Why put that pressure on yourself?
And I can believe it with something like, say, I mean, Clayface has a relatively small budget for a superhero movie, right? And isn't that was supposed to be like 60 to 70 million? I think I might be making this up. I'm sure I read it somewhere, which is fair enough. And then you might expect that to perform less well, but it has a better chance of making some money. But it's less that not every superhero movie needs to make $1 billion. That's fair enough because it was an unusual and like an extraordinary period in cinematic history that you had so many of these movies making that money. The problem is that they are often now not making the same amount of money as Phase 1 Marvel did at the beginning, before everybody knew to expect them. That's the real alarming thing.
Well, yeah, there's no more momentum. It's all gone. So you have to basically restart the car.
Well, they didn't understand their momentum at all. For them to still be making this mistake means they didn't understand what they had when they had it. They're completely clueless.
But even Iron Man didn't come out of nowhere. You had Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yes.
You had Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Like it was still.
Thank you, Reaper.
Heroes were becoming more and more mainstream.
Yes, I've said that. I made a video about this, and it's like lost on some people. The argument. It's like, well, the video was nobody cares about your C-list heroes, and that is fucking true because the only reason people care about your C-list heroes is if the A-listers are doing well, and then those C-listers can become B and A-list later on. So Spider-Man was really successful, even though it wasn't connected to the MCU at the time. Dark Knight, obviously not connected to anything like that, but was super successful. So you have 2 of the 3 biggest names in superheroes at the top of the box office, and that allows an Iron Man to come in because people are used to superheroes and like what they're seeing so far. So they'll give an Iron Man a try.
You could never. I was just gonna say to add to that, you can get away with trying to make an Ant-Man movie when you're in the peak height of the MCU success. You can get away with those things. You're in Guardians of the Galaxy. You can take all these unique projects and quirky ideas, you can get away with them because of the hype around it. You're not going to be able to get away with that now when there's no hype, and you couldn't have started with that. Like if we've got a Guardians of the Galaxy in 2006 or something,
would not have worked.
Wouldn't have made any sense. Like no one would even. What is this tree? What the hell? But when you have the money train of the MCU, people just have faith in the quality.
Yeah. It does
Iron
help
Man
that the movie's really fucking good too.
That was my point with these movies too. It's like there's always the discussion of the variables around it, but it comes down to just good movies at the end of the day that people want to come back and see.
Blade movies were made on a minuscule budget so they can become successful. It's not given a $250 million budget, a C-list hero given a $250 million budget, be like, okay, go make $1 billion off of your own. It's just not going to happen anymore.
And Blade also had
movies. Sorry, the first movies usually don't make that much. It's the second one. Even Batman Begins, how much did that make?
Wasn't even on the list. That was my biggest.
It was like 350 million. It did not make a lot of money. I did make that argument when James Gunn's Superman came out. We will see when the sequel comes out how much people actually enjoyed this original movie.
Yeah,
that's what they're riding on because it did begin. It was bomb.
Iron Man went from 300 to 800. Batman went from like 350 to 1 billion.
Boom. And a big part of that is Batman Begins ending is phenomenal. It's got one of the best endings ever with the Joker.
Great setup.
Everybody was down for the Dark Knight after that. You were coming back 100%. Where what's the hook here? Fucking Millie Alcock getting like beat up by the dog and him looking at the you know what I mean?
I'm like, a punk rocker. Who cares?
Yes, it's just who cares? Nobody cares compared to the reveal of Joker because like the way they did it was so slick. Because you're not even really thinking about it because you're so invested in a grounded movie.
Imagine if they set Lex up as the villain for the second movie.
Yeah, like good. Instead of embarrassing him in the first one, where now he's already a fool.
Well, what ethnic conflict are we going to get? Is it like Taiwan invasion that Superman has to like murder? Or each movie is just like another ethnic conflict?
Oh my God. It's a shame Despot couldn't make it in time. I would want to hear his thoughts on all of these.
I know.
Yeah.
In other news, dead silence basically out of D23 for a bunch of Avengers news. It's not. I really feel like the hype is just. It's like 1 decibel.
They're in denial.
This won't hit $1 billion. This will struggle, I think, to make even 600 if we're honest.
No,
600 is a bit too low.
You sure?
Too low. Well, if FF can make 500, I mean.
Oh, okay. All right. You gotta. Okay, so maybe 900.
I think 800 is its minimum. I would be 800 minimum, and I'd still be shocked if it made that. That'd be like a colossal failure.
So it won't even reap its budget back, basically.
Yeah. If it makes anywhere near 7 to 6, it's over. Just wrap it up. There's just nothing left.
Because like Alan Cumming made a comment in an interview a couple days ago that I saw was drifting around. He's just like, oh my God, the amount of cameos, like something about the amount of cameos.
Oh, you mean like this slide?
Boom.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah. I was mentioning that from 2 weeks ago. I couldn't believe that. Because this is what Wanda was saying, Elizabeth Olsen, where it's just a bunch of green screen. She didn't know who she was talking to, didn't know who she was facing, had no idea what the fuck was going on. And the result is the drunk witch in Multiverse of Madness who made no sense. And like she's got like one of the biggest streaks of nonsensical dialogue I've ever seen in a movie. And this is going to be the same thing because they don't know who they're talking to. It's just green screen.
Didn't Ian McKellen do this for The Hobbit?
I was about to say that.
Cry.
He took it right out of my mouth. Nightcrawler's probably crying like Ian McKellen in The Hobbit. Like he's probably in the corner.
At least Ian McKellen knew who he was supposed to be speaking to, and he knew the other characters he was supposed to be in that scene with, and he knew where he was and what point in the movie and the script that was. Like he had way more contextual information. This is just go into a room on your own and fight some green people. We're not going to tell you who they are. We're not going to tell you why, and we'll fill in those details once we finish the script. This is not how you make movies. This is insane.
They even gave characters fake names. So you're fighting Dildo, and you're fighting this guy.
You're fighting Dildo. Dildo Shaggins.
Let me read this Alan Cummings quote for the audience here. Alan Cummings said he doesn't know who he was acting with half the time when filming Avengers Doomsday. I did the entire film in isolation. Lots of green screen, face replacement. They even gave characters fake names. I don't know who I was acting with half the time. Jesus Christ.
There's no plot. There's no plot to this movie whatsoever. This is like confirmation. This is just a shit show.
bunch of cameo scenes filmed so they can plug them in wherever they're appropriate.
Right. It's that scene from Doctor Strange 2 all over again with Wanda confronting who was it? Mr. Fantastic,
the
and she
Illuminati.
didn't know
The Illuminati.
Yeah,
that's what I was referencing. Like, she's got a quote that I just think is incredible, where the guy asked straight up, like, "Did you know who you were killing in that scene?" And she said, "It changed a lot." Like, she basically had no idea who the fuck it was. And like, she went, filmed her scenes, and then she recorded her dialogue, and then she had to re-record her dialogue, and then re-record some scenes, and then go off to do a different movie she was doing while they finished the rest of the movie. And then she looks at the camera and says, "That's how we made Doctor Strange 2." Because she knows it's fucked. It's completely fucked. How do you make a film like that?
Didn't Ray Winston say something about Black Widow?
Yes.
He said he went, "I don't want to come back, but I'm contractually obligated to do it."
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I have a slide for that.
Yeah. The whole Red Room sequence in Black Widow 2, like the final act, they had that action scene before they had a script. So they had to kind of just like pigeonhole the movie into that. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're making things backwards.
Just how sad is that line?
Yeah, this goes right along with the Alan Cummings quote. He said, I said she should recast the role, but I was contracted, so I had to do it. I go back, they do my hair all nice, put me in the suit, and I couldn't do it."
Well, wasn't his character much darker? His character's supposed to be a bit like a paedophile. He was supposed to be a bit creepier and eviler. Yeah. And he went, "Nah, you have to be stupid, and women have to break free by headbutting a table."
It breaks their entire premise of her character, because like, this is the dude she was supposed to learn all these skills from. He has to be smart. Like, he's supposed to be an intelligent, pragmatic character. But to fit their narrative, they need him to be a sexist idiot. It's so fucking backward. Black Widow is an abomination that like didn't get shit on the way it deserved. Is it
worse than Multiverse of Madness or on par?
No. Multiverse of Madness is broken, 1,000 times more broken. But in terms of shredding a character, it's one of the worst. It's for my top 5 list. She's like my second worst assassination in MCU history.
I still haven't seen this movie. That's why. So
they took her her core foundation is family. Doing anything for family. The Avengers are her family. The reason she killed herself in Endgame is because Hawkeye had a family. Family. And we find out in this fucking movie she had a family she ignored this entire time. She thought her sister was cool.
There's the exchange with Yelena when Yelena says, because Yelena is basically her sister, which of course is news to the audience at this time because we never knew she had one of those. And you would have thought, given her focus on family is so strong, she might have mentioned her. In this movie, Yelena says, "Didn't you ever think to look for me?" And Nat's response is, "I just thought you were fine."
Yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Then you fast forward to Hawkeye, though, when Yelena's trying to kill Clint because she thinks Clint killed Nat. And then Clint says, "Oh, yeah, Nat, she never stopped talking about you and how wonderful you were."
What?
That's a fucking lie. We know it's a lie because we saw the last movie.
Yeah. And it's the thing, it's like, when you watch the Avengers now, I think of it when I see her scenes, like, why aren't you looking for Elena, you bitch? You have all these resources. You're a fucking member of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers. You have infinite resources to find your baby sister, but you're ignoring her according to this movie. So
like many of these movies, Vex, you should watch it and treat it as a comedy because all these movies work pretty well as a comedy. So, the basic conceit, Ray Winston, who is playing a Russian, which is hilarious on its own terms, has brainwashed a load of women using the power of his musk. Yeah. And so he literally, I'm not even joking, this is his thing. The widows are his private thing. He brainwashes them using the power of his scent. His smelly scrotum is the thing that and then he like uses them to try and infiltrate all governments worldwide from his giant flying fortress. And then he gets beaten because that realizes, oh, how could I overcome the awesome power of his scent? Oh, I know, I'll smash my head into a table and break my nose.
Sever the nerve.
Solved.
Sever the nerve.
This is in a movie. This all happened. It's really funny.
It's a character who's like, my main praise was her intelligence, her ability to overcome any situation through just like through strategy. Right. And instead of showing all the skills that she learned from this man to overcome him, like her final opponent, they make her do the dumbest thing I've possibly ever seen in a movie or a story of any kind, in terms of so many unique ways to defeat a villain. and they choose one that just shreds her entire character and makes her look like an idiot.
Wait,
just
Rachel
so
Weisz
terrible.
was in this?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she is,
Oh, yeah.
she
She's
is
a fucking
evil.
monster.
She is horrible.
Absolute
Her-
monster.
She was like, she worked with Ray Winston. She built the giant, like she helped him build the giant flying fortress. She built the mind prison. She helped him brainwash all these people. She helped him do every single evil thing he's ever done, tearing girls away from their families and turning them into cock worshipping weird
Sterilized them.
psycho sluts.
Torture
And then
a
he's
pig.
like, and then her moment of moral awakening is, well, I didn't think they'd do it to my family. Like,
Was
fuck
this like
you.
did
I
they
didn't
say
know
that-
what they do.
Did they say in an interview that this was like inspired by Andrew Tate or some shit? This is something like someone who hates Andrew Tate would write, in all honesty.
No, the film is totally on her side. Like the father is treated like the monster in the movie when he's not torturing anybody. Like he's one of the biggest victims in the entire thing, pretty much. But the film treats Yelena and the mom like they're perfect, even though they both are murderers from this den, and the mom is a psychopath.
See, I always assumed that this movie took place before all the other stuff, but it's like current, like
It's
in
Civil
the
War.
timeline.
It's
Yeah.
in
after
between.
Civil War.
It's literally a few days after Civil War. And what drives me nuts is Natasha, her whole demeanor in Civil War was like, I need to protect my family. I want to keep everyone together. And in the very beginning of this movie, she's just roasting Ross and talking shit to him, calling him an old man. She's totally out of character from the very beginning. And she's on the run, even though she knows exactly, like, she knows the situation completely. It just makes her character look so fucking ridiculous from the very beginning. She's
Dang.
out of
They,
character within the first 90 seconds.
Yeah,
Didn't
this
they
was
have
also
Taskmaster?
hilarious. The fucking Taskmaster situation. It was just a dude, and then when they take the mask off, it's like in Austin Powers where it's a man baby, and it's like
It's
a
a
woman
man.
take the mask off, and it's the full-bodied hairy man. You know,
You can see the side-by-side comparisons of where they just
So
shrink her down.
ridiculous.
There's even a shot where you can see his dong. It's a dude throughout the entire freaking movie.
It's
And then they
so
switch it up to
fucking
that
funny.
twink, the tiny Russian lady at the end.
And it's funny how they bring him
Mr.
back for
Despot.
Thunderbolts. They
Oh,
bring
yeah.
Taskmaster back and then shoot him in the head.
Terrible.
Hi,
creating
Despot.
You awake, dude?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm awake. Thanks for having me
There you
on.
go.
Yeah, man.
Welcome.
We were discussing, well, the title of the video, I guess, which is the Summer of Flops. So I didn't know if you might have something to say about this in particular. Summarize the first two slides too. So the summer box office was clobbered by Kryptonite and the domestic revenue was down, and they kind of blame men for doing it too, because the male skewing tent poles battled for scraps in the United States, it said. So yeah, the revenue of this year barely matched last year, but is anyone really shocked?
It says that the summer box office is down and global grosses took a nosedive, but if you look at the global box office, it's actually up. It's just American movies that are down. Like there was a Chinese movie that made over $2 billion.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I didn't see the movie. But I saw the story. Yeah, it's already one of the most successful movies ever made, and it came out.
K-pop? Demon Hunter?
No, not that. It's Despot. Do you remember what it's called?
Hey 2 or
Uh,
something. It's a sequel.
I don't speak Chinese, so I can't remember the name. But it's yeah, it made over $2 billion. And then K-pop Demon Hunters is a great example because obviously that's a Netflix movie, but it was released into theaters and it's done amazingly well. Although, I mean, fair enough, that's an American movie, but it's not really a mainstream Hollywood movie. It was made for streaming. It was thought of as a niche market. And the notion, what the Hollywood Reporter is doing here is that it's kind of blaming the audience for the box office when, in fact, the audience is there. The audience will show up when you make stuff they want to see, on a, like certainly globally, but there's just the same old shit from Hollywood isn't going to cut it internationally.
A big problem with the movies this summer, I think, is a lot of people can just look at the list and know exactly what they're in for. Pretty much, like, yep, another Jurassic World, another dinosaur movie,
Yeah.
another superhero thing. You just roll you roll your eyes, and yeah, other than like Weapons and 28 years later, there isn't something there that you think might surprise you. A lot of it is just the same old, same old. So it's hard to get excited for that.
And speaking of another flop, I can't pronounce his name, but
Kumail Nanjiani.
all right, thank you.
Harold and Kumar. That's all anyone
Yeah.
says.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar. He signed on to play in 6 MCU films and a video game. And he says, you're like, okay, so I'll be doing Marvel movies every year, and in between, I'll do my own little things. None of that happened.
Oof.
Well, no shit.
They thought they would get 6 movies and a video game
Crazy.
out of Eternals.
It's hard
The
to feel bad for
hubris.
this because that's kind of like dude, you should have known better. Like, read the room.
They
Well,
really
didn't
thought
he,
they were making something special with that movie.
They did.
Didn't he also get signed on to play Booster Gold? And then, like, that's not happening now.
I don't
I'm not
know.
sure.
Yeah, I
What-
don't know about that.
It just the one thing it reminds me of is they've been doing this for a long time when it comes to casting in Marvel, because they had to recast Don Cheadle for Rhodey, and they basically called him during his daughter's birthday and said, "Hey, we got a 6-film deal for you. You got 2 hours to fucking sign it." And he's just like,
Wow.
literally playing with his daughter and having to decide the most important thing for the rest of his life. So no, they gave him an hour. He told them he's at his daughter's birthday, and then they're like, "Okay, you got 2 hours to decide." So he basically had 2 hours to decide his future in the MCU, which led him to where he is now, a fucking scroll, and wasted. Basically, it's a similar story, but it took Rhodey 10 years to get there, where he just got fucked over.
And that was during the actual heyday of Marvel too.
Yep.
This was it's like Camille didn't know he was part of the downfall of the MCU with the release of the Eternals. That was definitely the signs. The cracks
Cheadle's
were showing.
gamble was safer because of where the MCU was.
Mhm.
This guy's was just stupid.
Well,
Wasn't
he
this
assumed
with-
it was
yeah.
safe too because he thought, you know, with the political messaging that they were going to start injecting into these films, starting with his, he probably thought the wind was blowing that way. I'm in great shape. Little
Wasn't
did he
this
know.
the first ever bomb? Because Captain Marvel still did well. Black Panther did really well. I think this one failed to make its money back.
Mhm.
Quantum Mania or this one? It was,
I think it was this one. This was the
came out before.
actually, I think technically Black Widow because of the fact it was released on Disney Plus and it was the year right after the pandemic.
I think you're right. I
So-
don't think that made money.
This was
But-
during the pandemic as well, though.
But it was a full theatrical release, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Black Widow only got the Disney Plus release because Scarlett Johansson sued them for that, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly. This one did come out in cinemas, and like, fair enough. I guess cinemas weren't maybe operating at full capacity, but also it was a dog shit boring movie, which I know I have seen and cannot remember ever having seen.
Didn't like a celestial shows up and grabs them at the end, and Kit Harington goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a Magic Knight or something." And then
Oh
they
yeah,
went-
and Blade's voice makes a cameo.
What?
Yeah, in the post credit scene, it's Blade.
well, the
that's
budget
making a
was
cameo.
236 million. It only made 402 million at the box office.
Yeah.
It's astonishing to me that a movie that bad and that boring can still make over $400 million. I mean, that's where Marvel was at that time.
Yeah.
They were still
Mm.
quite a strong brand. It's quite easy to forget how popular they were. But if you can make a movie, if they released the Eternals today, it would not make $200 million. It's that bad, but they made more than double that back then. That's astonishing given how absolute fucking garbage that movie is. There's a good case to be made that it is the worst MCU movie because although Marvel's and Captain America Brave New World are probably on paper, you know, in terms of their plot and everything, they're worse because there's just more problems in those movies. In terms of just sheer tedium, there's a good case to be made that The Eternals is the worst Marvel movie.
For forgettability, yeah. Like if you're rewatching them for the memes or just to like have fun, just talking shit about them or to break them down, this would be one of the toughest ones to sit through for sure.
It would. I mean, at least Captain Cape Shit has broccoli head. I can't remember what the guy like that. That's really like
Yeah.
fun CGI to sort of just look at and think, "Fuck me, they actually made that," and that was released.
Yeah.
It's astoundingly bad, and the green screen in it is just shocking. I mean, you don't need to be a CGI expert to see how clunky that is. But so that's kind of fun. But there's nothing in Eternals. It's just horribly boring.
Is there any memes or any meme value in there at all? Is there anything?
Well, I remember Icarus, played by Rob Stark. They basically lecture him, and he flies into the sun.
That's the only thing I know about this movie. Something about Rob going into the sun. It's
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
right.
created up. Great.
God.
Yeah, they basically
Yeah,
go,
they
"You're
took that
evil," and he
literally.
goes, "Yeah, I am," and just kills himself.
God. He's
No,
a good actor too, Billy Madsen, and he just hasn't really done much after Game of Thrones. None of them have.
Morbius and Madam Web had bigger impacts than the Eternals.
Well, Madam Web is iconic. Like it deserves to be mentioned and respected. The rest can be forgotten. So
Well, I think this one was the first time they started doing that prequel shit where they've always been there, but they've never interfered.
Oh yeah, they started
Oh,
with
yeah,
Captain
that.
Marvel, right? Yeah.
That was
Something
the problem. The big problem with the premise, and if a movie has a bad premise, I just cannot invest in it at all. And that was the problem with this movie. Like, you've got these. I mean, you don't even need to talk about World War II. You could talk about like the conquest of Genghis Khan, right? And I'll just give one example. There was a city that rebelled, and I think what was the Khwarezmian Empire, which was a sort of Middle Asian empire that Genghis Khan conquered, and 100,000 residents were taken out of the city and executed. And these guys are just chilling out, thinking, nah, no, we're all right. We're not going to get involved. And they're doing that for, thousands of years of just human horror.
Thanos
it's like if
wasn't a
they
big
just
enough
had
threat to get
popcorn
involved.
and they were watching it for fun, at least make it a joke.
Yeah, you could mean like I could have stopped Hitler, but I didn't. I was just watching.
Have some fun with it. You would think so, but I think one of the biggest things that's frustrating is something about they will only come for Celestials or something. And isn't Thanos a Celestial? Isn't there like lore reasons they should have been there?
Well, no, they were supposed to. Each world is like an egg, and it kills the world to harvest another Celestial. Like that Celestial coming out the ground in Captain America, one of the Eternals kills it.
I just want to add, I'm kind of upset for Kamal or whatever his name is, because we could have gotten a ton of like Kingo beach shitting memes out of this if he were still in the MCU. So
He's done. He was in Kenobi too. He had a
What? He had a
cameo.
starring role in Kenobi,
Yeah.
playing that guy.
That guy.
He,
Yeah.
he always plays that guy because he was in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire,
Oh shit!
which is just a tragic movie. And he played the exact same character. He just plays the sort of quippy Marvel side character.
that's a
Is that
shame.
is that always his character? Just
That's-
quippy Marvel quips, light comic relief.
Since Harold and Kumar,
Pretty
he's
much.
kind of stuck typecast, I guess.
In the Eternals,
This isn't the
doesn't
Harold
he
and
get-
Kumar guy. This is a different brown
It's
guy.
not him.
This isn't
Yo,
the guy?
what the fuck? I was like 1,000% sure that was him this whole time.
Wait, hold on. Is it not the guy from Frozen Empire?
Oh, it's not. It's not Harold and
What?
Kumar. I
No.
only-
That is some next. See, that's how racism starts right there. Like we all genuinely thought that was
But
Kumar.
it is. It looks exactly like
Yeah,
him.
I was picturing the scene from Harold and Kumar 2
Oh,
where he's
he
on the
looks
plane.
identical.
Woo!
How's
I'm
that not
telling
him?
you, man.
Him. How is that not him? Someone
It's
No,
not the
it
same
is him.
guy.
I'm looking it up. Frozen
Prove it.
Empire cast.
What?
I don't believe you.
My mind was just blown.
I
Right, yes,
no,
I'm
see-
right. The guy from Frozen Empire is Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh,
Okay,
This
that's
guy,
fine.
yes.
It is the guy.
Kum-
It is the guy.
Kumar's
agree
real
they
name
look
is
alike?
Hal Penn.
Yeah, Kal Penn, he disappeared from acting because he went into politics. Like he was part of
Oh.
Congress or some shit like that for a
What?
number of years.
You know what? I need to see the picture and just get like shamed right now. 'Cause they probably look nothing alike, and this is just your brain throwing brown people together.
With the Indian, there's like 2 billion of them. They're gonna have like identical clones.
Didn't this
Oh,
guy in the movie? Didn't he get offended by what someone said and then just disappear for the majority of the film? And then he comes back. This is me actually trying to remember the plot.
I don't
Um,
remember.
And then he comes back and he shoots little like lasers out of his fingers. I think
You're
that's-
asking people to remember this
I
movie.
can't remember, man. In fact, somebody mentioned that a Celestial came in the last scene. That's news to me. And
It
I seen.
came.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it's
I-
what's his
seen
name?
this movie.
Arishem the judge. It's the final scene. He turns up. He's fucking massive. He's over Earth, and they go up and have a chat with him, and he says, "Oh, and I will return to judge you." And now,
I don't
however many
remember
years
that.
later that is, we've never seen him again. So I guess
Yeah, he grabbed
we
them.
got
He
off.
grabbed
Never
all
heard
the
of this.
Eternals off the planet and just flew away. And Kit Harington is just standing there going, "What the fuck?"
I
I've
might
never
as
even
well
heard
be
of this
blackout
dude, man.
drunk because I watched the movie. I don't know if I watched like right to the end because I can't even remember that. I
There was
do
a guy in
remember
a
the
dress.
I remember the
Oh, I remember.
the Celestial coming out of the Earth's crust, and they start shooting lasers at it, and they eventually freeze this sort of baby Celestial, and that's a lot. That's really the only thing I can remember about the movie. That and Jon Snow having a fight in London, I think, with some creature that I could barely see because it was black and the fight was happening at night.
Yeah, that's like the first episode. He's the Black Knight, which he's never ever got a hero role after that.
It does make you wonder, though. Did no one ever turn around to the director of the CGI department and say, "Guys, this is like a black Venom-like creature running around London at night. No one's going to be able to see anything. It's just going to look terrible."
Well, they probably said it looks like dog shit, so we'll hide it in the shadows.
What's the point then? I mean, just don't.
I know.
What is the if it looks so bad that you have to make it dark so that it's barely visible? There's no point in having the scene.
Well,
It's
Game
just
of Thrones
annoying.
got away with it. Remember
Fuck
the
me.
fucking
Was
Battle of
that
Winterfell?
that had to be the worst example of excessively dark lighting?
That
I mean,
was
it's not.
fucked.
That was
Yeah.
shocking because it was a
We
big thing.
blamed
Was it?
you.
When did that? When was that at its absolute nadir? Like its reverse peak. Was the low
It's
point of that dark lighting the 2010s in terms of cinematography?
Well, in Lord of the Rings, like the Battle of Helm's Deep, it's all blue lights and you can see everything.
Yeah, it's
if you
crisp.
compare Helm's Deep to The Long Night, it's shocking. It's like a masterclass on how to film at night.
Well, you can't compare it because you can't fucking see.
Yeah.
Battle of Winterfell.
It's not just that. It's the lighting itself and the stages of continuity within the battle, where you can understand Helm's Deep in stages and see how they got from A to B. And it's just a clear battle to follow. In The Long Night, every single time you cut back, it's a clusterfuck. Someone will get surrounded by 30 zombies, and the next edit, they're perfectly fine when they should have
Well,
been
they got obsessed with realistic lighting. Well, there's no realistic lighting. It's the pitch black of night. Like you look at Fantastic Four in the 2000s or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, you can see everything, even Venom. You can't see anything in Game of Thrones.
Well,
Yeah, I
that
remember
episode
bitching about that in
specifically
Rings of
is-
Power too. Their night scenes.
Yeah, it's the new obsession with realistic lighting.
Battles?
They don't put artificial lights in.
There's a way you can do it, but these aren't good examples for sure.
Because I remember Spider-Man 3, you know, the big fight at the end, you can
Oh,
even
yeah.
see Venom.
Yeah. Even
Well-
Spider-Man 3, which was a terrible movie, did that well enough.
If you have talent, you can even make a daytime battle intense or scary. Like Jaws is in the day, it's scary. Hard Home is a daytime battle and it's fucking intense. So it just comes down to the filmmaking at that point in time. But their
There's-
idea is just turn it extra dark just to hide all the flaws, which is just shit.
That one's for you guys.
Shut up! Shut
It was
up!
relevant.
It's been relevant every fucking time. It just happens, all right? No, I'm not apologizing for that.
In other news, James Gunn says he'd love to go back and make changes to Peacemaker season 1 to properly line it up with the new DCU. I'd love to George Lucas the shit out of it, but right now I don't have the money. And then he did.
Yeah, but famously, George Lucas makes everything worse when he does that. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I refuse to watch the special editions. I just won't watch. Like, I watched the you can actually just download. You have to pirate them. Like some guy despecialized them, so I downloaded the despecialized and watched all 3 of those recently. That's fucking great. And there's one of the things because you watch the despecial or the special editions and you think, why is this annoying me so much? Why do I hate this so much? And it's the intrusion. It breaks immersion. If you're watching the movie and you're just there with the story, and then all of a sudden there's this horrible fucking gaudy 90s CGI stormtrooper on some hideous creature, and it just breaks immersion.
Completely.
When you watch the original, it's so immersive. It's fucking incredible. If you're listening and you want to watch Star Wars, don't watch or you want to rewatch them, don't watch the special editions. Download the despecialized editions and watch those. It's so much better.
It's like if you want out of his way to make it as objectionable and noticeable as possible. Like, there's the bit where Luke's landspeeder arrives in Mos Eisley for the first time ever, and like it's supposed to be an establishing shot where the landspeeder goes into it, and this is the first time you've seen Mos Eisley at this distance. And then George Lucas thinks, what would make this better? Oh, I know. Let's put a giant rubber animal that you can't even see in total walking across the entire camera,
It's
so you
hideous.
can't see anything. Why did you do it, George? Why did we need burping fucking gophers? Why do we need any of this stuff? Stop it. It was good the way it was. Stop ruining stuff.
You can keep the rocks on R2, but the rest needs to fuck off. Like there's so many things that are stupid.
It also ruins the sort of cinematographic world building because Tatooine is big and spacious. It's a desert planet. You know, people don't have to be close together. And I know what I mean by that because I've lived in Seoul, and Seoul's a very dense city. It's very cramped. Space is at a premium, so everything is close together. But then I've lived in cities where everything's spaced out. And so it's just it's more convincing in terms of the world building when you don't have frames just packed with shit that feels fake.
The biggest comparison too, to highlight what you're saying, is watch the original dance sequence with Jabba. The song is different, the vibe is different, everything about it is different, and it's much more cohesive because it's all practical effects. And then you get the remastered one where you have the fucking James Brown alien singing into the fucking screen, and it's just clashes with the rest of it so badly.
That's not even the most disturbing part about that whole sequence is the walking fleshlight. I just hate it. It's so awful. I mean, I don't even like the blue chap. What's his name? His band is called Jizz. No, he plays Jizz. That's the genre of Star Wars jazz music is called Jizz.
What?
It genuinely, it actually is. It's called Jizz. So they play Jizz. It's like Max Rebo and the Jizz band or something like that.
Oh fucking god! See, a few of the additions they did make to the special editions, I can take, like very subtle things like the Rancor hovering over Luke, and you can see the very, very, very dark lines around him. They minimized that type of stuff. Those I can take. But
yeah, and like changing the voice of Boba Fett, so it's actually what's his name who plays Django, Tamora Morrison. It's like I can deal with that change, and it's not visually offensive, and it does line it up a little bit better. But even then, I almost think on principle I'd still not do it. The Emperor is the best change they make. Right? I've tried. Don't think there's a better change than putting Ian McDiarmid in that role.
Yub Nub, getting that song at the end, the celebration. I think that's definitely something they should keep. Because the original Ewok song would it's so anticlimactic. The Yub Nub song.
I agree. I agree with that. That is the single best change because it's one of the few examples where John Williams, that was a swing and a miss. Usually he hits it out of the ballpark, but they needed a really nice finale and he just failed to deliver it. But he got it right second time round. That said, it's ruined. The special edition ruins it with when it goes to Naboo, you see some fucking Gungan going, "We set free," and it ruins the entire scene for me. I can't. And apart from that, Anakin's Force Ghost, fuck off.
Oh yeah, what are you doing there, Hayden? Go away.
No, so it ruins it for those two. Even though the music's way better, those two things make it unwatchable for me.
So everyone really liked Peacemaker.
I've never seen a single second of it. The only time I've ever seen Peacemaker is in the Superman movie where he has that cameo.
Yeah, I haven't seen any episode of the show. I just thought it was hilarious that they went and retconned the ending.
It's basically The Boys, but even worse.
How's John Cena's acting?
Why is it worse than The Boys?
Well, I wouldn't say. I don't know. Actually, it depends which season of The Boys, because at least the first season of The Boys.
4, I only seen bits of season 4, and I thought it was.
Well, yeah, it's
trash.
season 4 of The Boys.
I feel like
Sorry.
I was just gonna say real quickly, when you discuss The Boys, the distinction between season 1 and the rest of the series needs to be very clear because season 1's pretty solid.
Well, that's the thing. Basically, he even has a hero-gasm moment where he goes to a party and there's just dicks and tits everywhere.
It's called Hero-gasm. It's an event that they have every year.
Peacemaker has it. It's the same thing. It's a fake edgy stuff where we continuously swear and we constantly say shit like that. And we act like over the top gore is we think it's actual being edgy, but it's not.
Yeah.
Everything swears. Fucking Family Guy swears.
It has to mean something. It has to be in line with the character. It can't just be shoved in just to try to make an edgy aspect to the show. And that's what The Boys became.
And it's overly reliant on like gratuitous violence. Like that's basically it. It's like really bad plot, bad character. And then the audience claps when he shoots someone's head off.
Yeah, the violence in season 1 of The Boys was actually impactful because there was, attached to some type of character. When Huey blew up Translucent, it really meant something for his character arc. And they forget all that in season 2. It's just crazy.
But it's like, what's the real enemy? Well, the real enemy is toxic masculinity. It's white supremacy. It's the unbelievably safe topics. And they always, again, back to the edginess is annoying me because you have the same opinion as Amazon, as Google, as all the top corporations. What's edgy about that? There's no risk. Like I say, for like the immigrant thing is like we're super pro-immigrants. That's it.
Edgy
pisses me off.
Edgy take. To further James Gunn's situation running DC. He said the Superman follow-up movie takes place within the group of characters we've already met, and Superman is an important element. So are we doing this again? It's just like recycling.
He's not the main character again.
He's not the main character again in his own sequel, just like Zack Snyder did to him. Is this like an admittance that he's just not that big of a draw?
Well, yeah, but it's also like Superman is important in Superman 2. Yeah, he fucking should be.
I wonder if it's going to be called Super Friends or something, Because it just sounds like he's going to be a supporting character.
They'll drag the Justice Gang joke out for ages, and then someone goes, maybe we should be like a league or something.
I can't believe they dragged that out for the entire movie. The first time you see them, let's joke about the Justice Gang. Isn't that a shit name? And then at the end of the movie, Justice Gang, that's a cool name. Oh, you should be in the Justice Gang. Wow. That's some top draw humor, James Gunn. If you're going to make Superman a supporting character, though, like you need to have characters for him to support. And that's the other problem. I don't know who any of these people are. I know people enjoyed watching Mr. Terrific, and to a slightly lesser degree, they enjoyed watching Guy Gardner, but they aren't characters. They're just gimmick people who are quite well performed. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they think. I don't know what their values are. I know nothing about them whatsoever. So if we're going to have another Superman follow-up movie with these characters, we're going to have to do all of the work again. And I don't think we will, because he couldn't be bothered to do it in his first movie.
Does this mean that... Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, does this mean that when we get Lobo in Supergirl, we're gonna get a ton of Aquaman jokes throughout the entire movie?
Probably.
Oh Jesus!
I was gonna say, one of the big signs of this being like a clusterfuck is if they do the Marvels thing, because you see all the movies in the MCU is Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Captain America 1, 2, 3. The Marvels is the only one who had her name like taken out of the title, went from Captain Marvel to the Marvels. So if Superman's name isn't in this, I think that's confirmation that he's not a success. That it's confirmation that they think he's not a successful character. But I'm not sure what approach they're gonna have. Why are they still even using him?
Chat lighting it up today.
Well, he's recycled jokes from all his movies, and that's all we're gonna get is another repackaged Superman, a repackaged Guardians. He hasn't really done anything new in any of his new movies.
No, he has a formula and he sticks to it.
No, not even that. He bends other things around to fit his formula instead of just using it in places where it's useful. Because Guardians 1 and the Suicide Squad, those were both decent. That's him at his best from what I've seen.
Plus,
I think the same formula.
That's what I mean.
The plot suffers massively from his humor. Like Superman's parents being evil, I think that was just done to have a super harem joke.
That's so stupid.
Because it didn't really affect the character that much.
Also, though, I'm not sure, because that's a confusing thing as well, because I don't know what exactly its story use is supposed to be if it isn't just a joke. But obviously, like, James Gunn has said that message was genuine. He said that in an interview, and everybody in the movie said, "Oh, the message was real." Honestly, they say it over and over again. The message was genuine. They do actually want you to turn Earth into a giant fucking rape harem. But then if there's the news report at the end with James Gunn's brother getting his obligatory cameo. The ticker tape underneath the news report says Lex Luthor is responsible for the fake video of Superman's parents. So now I don't know what it is, and I don't think James Gunn knows what it is either, because his movie and himself have said two contradictory things. The news ticker says it was fake and Lex faked it, but everyone else in the movie and the person who made the movie said that it was genuine. So is it just a joke? Is it a fake? Is it real? Does anybody know? Does James Gunn know? I don't think he does.
Well,
I think it's a little bit of.
Sorry,
I think it's a little bit of. Well, my guess is that it's a little bit of small print in the movie sort of contract. So if James Gunn wants, he can point to that and then retcon what he did in the first movie, or he can just go on with it. It allows him to choose either option, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't they pull this with the Batman as well? I feel like they created over at DC, they created a formula. There's a song to get you through the movie. So the Batman had Something in the Way. This had Punk Rocker. And then they both had the main character was essentially in their Superman or superhero form the entire movie, because there was very little Bruce Wayne. There was very little Clark Kent. And then the twist was the exact same. The parent, there was something wrong with the parent. They might have been evil or done something horrible. and the protagonist had no clue until the middle of the film, and it was the exact same formula both times. I think one movie did it better, you know which one, but yeah, it's like it's this weird formula. They did the same thing 15 years ago, because the Dark Knight or the Batman Begins, the way that was edited, they tried to do the same thing with Man of Steel as well. Yeah.
So there's probably many examples of this, just them copying the formula and like just doing a shitty example of it.
Yeah.
So you have 2 Superman films doing a bad copy of 2 Batman films.
Yes.
Well, and Whedon from the Avengers, how many Marvel directors have tried to copy Whedon's humor and just make everybody quippy and annoying instead of balancing?
Yeah.
They shit on Whedon instead of actually appreciating what he did that made it work and learning from it. And then it's so stupid. Yeah.
Haven't they fast tracked this movie? Wasn't Superman 2 was like that was gonna be a while away, and it seems to be he's working and almost finished a draft.
Yeah, he said that he'd completed the complete script treatment a few weeks ago, even, and it was a really long script treatment. So all he really needs to do is just add dialogue to it, and then it's a movie. So I don't know if that is a reflection on the underperformance of the first movie, that he wants another one out really quickly to try and make the numbers up, or whether this was always the plan.
Well, he had what was that? Gods and Monsters video where he had Themyscira, and it was going to be a bunch of lesbian Amazonians killing men. You had he had a bunch of videos, a bunch of stuff, and like how many times you see those Marvel tiles, and he got all those films planned. Like what was the Inhumans, and we never got it.
I forgot about the Inhumans.
I was under the impression that I was Reaper. I was under the impression that the next movie was Supergirl.
Yeah, that's so the next one is Supergirl, then it's Clayface, and then I don't know.
You were mentioning it earlier, Platoon. Clayface. It's the only one that has a reasonable budget, and the fact that it's not a big name superhero means it might be an Andor situation where it actually can have some quality and like get a little bit more attention. So oddly enough, that's the only one I'm kind of curious about.
Is Clayface a show or movie? Oh, sorry.
It's a movie. Clayface is a movie, right? It's getting a theatrical release.
40 million budget.
Yeah. I'm more interested in Supergirl just because it's not written by James Gunn, and so it might stand the chance of being okay. And
it's
who's it written by though?
Good question.
I have
Where's the chick who made the
slide here I
Penguin?
should have brought up. James Gunn says the next movies that DC will likely make are the Batman Part 2 and the Superman follow-up, whatever that means.
They should put all their money on Matt Reeves and whoever the chick was who did the Penguin. Like that is the direction for DC. This whole James Gunn Superman world is just gonna screw it up.
It is written. Supergirl is written by Anna Nogueira. Something along those lines, who has previously done The Vampire Diaries, something on Hamilton, because fucking everyone has. And that's kind of it.
Isn't she? It says she's also writing the upcoming Teen Titans film and Wonder Woman film that James Gunn plans.
Sounds like she's just a CW standby writer. That's what that sounds like.
She must have sucked him off to get 3 writing films.
Well, that's like the chick Nia DaCosta doing the sequel 28 years later when she just chat out the Marvels. How the fuck?
The only logical explanation I can think of is that Alex Garland is going to shadow direct it, but that they've brought her on for ESG points. I cannot think of a logical reason why Danny Boyle and Alex Garland would hire her to do that movie. It makes no sense.
I'm with you on that theory. There's got to be there's got to be a twist.
Hadn't she only done like 2 films?
When she was hired to do the Marvels, she had only done 1 movie. It was an awards bait indie movie about a woman who has to travel from a Republican state where abortion is illegal to a Democrat state to get her abortion so she can self-actualize.
That sounds.
She did Candyman.
How do you go from that to Marvels? How do you even I just don't understand that.
Well, that
like Peter Jackson got shit for people thinking, oh, he's a horror guy. Why is he getting Lord of the Rings? That still makes more sense in terms of like the horror aspects he was able to incorporate into the trilogy. versus this chick, where her only history is that nonsense that you just mentioned. Why would you go from that to an MCU project? I don't get the connection there. Other
They
than
should have made abortion a part of the Marvel's
yeah,
plot. You just abort a scroll.
They should have just aborted the fucking movie.
yeah. No, you guys are right. There is some relevance if you look at it that way. Yeah.
I did want to bring this up, even though it's a little old, because we missed it last week. But damn, if it wasn't something we really should have discussed. We kind of touched on it a little bit with that Hollywood Reporter article, but this is just the craziest shit in the world. I know everyone's kind of thought about this already because the article, ran wild like Hulkamania does. But leadership at Disney is pressing Hollywood creatives for movies that will bring young men, aka Gen Z, back to the brand in a meaningful way, specifically original concepts. Sources say Disney has been seeking new IP in pitches such as splashy global adventures and treasure hunts, as well as seasonal fare like films for the Halloween corridor. The calls come as the Star Wars machine struggles to produce any film project, and the superhero genre sheds audiences by the minute, with no fucking explanation as to why, of course.
Oh, no, there was an explanation. The explanation was it's men's fault for being stunted and immature and playing too many video games. It's a man's fault. Disney didn't do anything wrong. It's all men.
There's never gonna be, they're never gonna come out and tell the truth. Is
As
there an example
always.
in history of? Is there ever been an example in history of a female IP or female product that got fundamentally changed into a male product successfully? It's never happened. At least what I could think of. So why would they try to take something that's for boys and then make it specifically for girls? Now it appeals to nobody. Like they just completely screwed it up. So it's no surprise.
Well, they always think like the genders are just one amorphous blob.
Yeah.
Like you can sell to both when that's never been the case.
No.
Even the age differences between the same gender make a difference. An R-rated film and a child's film, that's the same gender. Like even Japan, they have, what is it, shonen for little boys, shoujo for girls, something else for adult men, and something else for adult women.
Action figures for boys, dolls for girls. It's been a fundamental factor in terms of business structure. Like they know what sells. They know female toys don't sell, but dolls do. It's just Toys R Us. They've had all the stats for years, but yeah, somehow Star Wars and Marvel and these giant companies can't see that. They try to do it backwards.
Like Twilight was targeting a very specific type of girl.
Yeah,
like teenagers.
Even
Fat,
Barbie.
ugly teenagers.
What was the name of that BDSM trilogy?
50 Shades.
50 Shades. Like that they knew exactly what they were doing. Like that was made for women, right? And so I mean they know this. Like they know that the different sexes want different things from their movies. They've been doing it for decades, but it's like Disney certainly over the past 10 years is, I mean, a lot of this is social engineering to be fair. They're trying to get men to be different and do better and to change entertainment to make masculinity more palpable to the modern age. Like they're not going to make action movies for men the way they were made in the 80s and 90s, where there's a hot babe and a muscly guy going around shooting brown foreigners. Like they're not going to do that. They're not going to bring those back, and I don't think Disney are capable of that.
But that's what the biggest issue is to change masculinity. You have to understand masculinity, and they think masculinity is inherently bad. It's just a toxic trait that needs to be abolished instead of understanding the benefits of it. Like it's just we've had good examples of strong masculine characters throughout media, but we need to ignore all of them and just have this bullshit. It's frustrating to watch.
Well, the problem with the propaganda is that you're aware it's propaganda, and if you're aware of it, it ends up having the negative effect.
Yes.
Like if you know you're being lectured, it makes you double down.
Yeah.
Just there's a point in that like headline that they're trying to get back the Gen Z audience. Isn't Gen Z like pretty massively dropping TV and movies in favor of mainly anime and like YouTube content?
Yeah.
Well, you can't blame them because look at the fucking movies that have been made available for them to watch. They're absolute fucking trash.
Look what they grew up with.
The sort of cultural output of the United States over the past 10 years has been the worst of my lifetime. Now, fair enough, I was born in 89, so it's not like I'm a wizened old soul. But if I was 10 years younger, Like, I would have next to no interest in any sort of modern American. I mean, I don't have any interest in modern American culture as is, beyond my YouTube job, but I can understand exactly why. If they were making movies as good as they used to, you would have a lot more fans. If Star Wars was still good, they would have a lot more Star Wars fans. If Marvel's didn't go down the fucking tubes, their audience wouldn't have shrunk to a quarter of what it used to be.
Yep.
So it's, of course, they're going to gravitate toward anime and video games because they're still fucking good in many cases.
Yeah, word of mouth is still the best marketing, but it doesn't work if your product is shit.
But
So it
I
all
mean,
comes down to the quality.
Is there any way to get that demographic back? Because they've essentially been trained that, oh, I can find the content I like, I can find better content elsewhere. So isn't this just kind of calling into the abyss that you want this, like you want Gen Z back when you never really had Gen Z?
Well, it worked for K-pop Demon Hunters. Like Gen Z and Gen Z girls in particular love that movie. It's very, very popular among kids.
And the One Piece live action as well. I mean, one thing you can do is just look at what is successful in other genres and figure it out and copy it. There's nothing innately wrong with doing that. It's actually how you learn things from people. But you have to get over the massive cultural hangups that do exist amongst large numbers of Hollywood executives and writers, which have it, as has been mentioned, that the things that would appeal to Gen Z men are all bad things that need to be removed from Gen Z men. And as long as you have that mindset, you're never going to allow yourself to recapture that audience because you think that audience essentially needs changing.
Sorry,
after you. Well, no, after you.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, it's like, as you're right, is the writers they're telling to address to Gen Z men are all 40-year-old feminists. Imagine that. Target the audience you despise. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Well, the writers. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. After you.
Oh, I was just gonna say the writers that are writing all of this stuff as well just don't know who their audience is. Like Alien Earth is a great example of this. You have people that have never had children, who have never interacted with children, now writing what are supposed to be, I don't know if they're 12-year-olds or retarded 4-year-olds in the bodies of adult humans, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've taught, haven't you, Vex? You've taught kids.
Oh yeah.
And I taught kids for years, and I was watching that show thinking whoever wrote this just hasn't spent time with kids.
Right. So it's just like the people that are putting this call out are just so dissociated from what children are like these days, what that demographic is like these days. Even the stuff that you pointed out is successful. It's anime based. They all want anime. They're over. Like Disney never had them. Disney will never get them back.
Unless they start doing things in the way that anime does them, unless they start telling those stories, unless they start really understanding how to sell to these different audiences in the way that many anime producers do. I don't think just because you never had the audience to begin with, which I agree with, doesn't mean you can't necessarily win them over by doing what the successful people do. But you need to allow yourself to do that, and this fundamental and I don't think very well understood hypocrisies in play, particularly when it comes to say like female-dominated executives in Hollywood or in publishing or writing generally, which is that romance is always going to be a massive seller. Like everybody is kind of universally appreciable to romance because romance is this fundamental human trait. The problem is, unfortunately, that whereas feminine-coded romance is seen as automatically a massive seller and B, a very, very good thing, male expressions of romance tend to be construed as being dominating, unpleasant, aggressive, sometimes toxic, and they need and rapey. They need to be fundamentally changed. So unless you're going to allow yourself to tell, because if you look back at a number of things that have come out quite recently, The Little Mermaid, the Disney remake of The Little Mermaid, is one example where they tried as much as they could to remove agency from the male character in a romantic story, which is kind of silly.
Oh God,
Star Wars has done the same thing. Dave Filoni does it in episode 1 of Ahsoka, which is you're trying to set up the mission, which is you have to go across the galaxy to rescue Ezra Bridger. What is the kind of thing that would make someone risk their lives to go across the galaxy and try and rescue someone? Well, being in love is a good way to do it. What does Dave Filoni do? In the first fucking audio log, Ezra tells Sabine, "Oh, we're just friends." So that's so stupid. Boring.
That's also why I was saying you definitely should watch Mulan, because it's the best reference for what you're saying in terms of nerfing the male to prop up the female, because the Mulan's dynamic with the commander is what really made her character in the original film.
Yeah.
They make him even more pathetic than at least that dude got to fucking like have some type of agency. He was stupid and wasted, but he wasn't as pathetic as what they did to the dude in Mulan. So
the problem is in Mulan they split him because he couldn't be her romantic partner because he was the authority figure.
Yeah.
So she had to romance someone who was beneath her.
She didn't romance anybody. They all just worshipped her. The famous scene of her carrying the buckets up and struggling and him carrying it and like she's looking up and seeing so much stronger than her. So she has to use her brain to overcome it. They changed that scene and just make her OP and she's just carrying the buckets while everyone else sucks. They ruined the message there completely.
Well, no, none of these people understand Gen Z. Like every time you hear them talk about them, they have utter disdain for the generation.
Yeah.
So it's like these people are weak. They're pathetic. It's like, well, of course they're not going to watch you because every time you try and make something for 20-year-olds, you call them gay or you call them weak or pathetic. It's like, why the fuck? Like, I've watched Star Wars and we've already seen all this.
But that's the thing. Nobody ever really refers to Princess Leia as General Leia. Most people still refer to Princess Leia as Princess Leia because essentially being a boy's story, most boys like the idea of going around doing lots of fighting to win the princess. That's kind of how boys' romantic stories work. It's not particularly romantic. It's all about asserting yourself, winning a fight, and winning the person that you think you love. That's it. So princesses are a really good thing to do, but obviously Disney doesn't like modern princesses very much because they're reductive and they're sexist. So you have to make them go and fight the world. Snow White's a good example of this. They go and fight the world for no particular reason because they don't do it to try and win the prince. They do it because in Snow White's case, I don't even what actually was their argument. It was the evil queen who dominates the world is bad, so I'm going to go and do it instead. Great.
The dwarves are the ones who kill him in the original, but then she just has to do everything.
But the dwarves do it to protect the princess because she is the classic Disney princess, and she demonstrates her virtue by being nice to everyone. She's worth protecting, and that's why people try to protect her. But then they lose.
That would take away her agency now. It's fucking horseshit.
If you look at Red Sonja is a good example of the most recent example of Hollywood fucking up an IP that could have actually made money and appealed to men if they'd tried. Like they hired, I don't want to be insulting, the actress is all right looking, but she's really mid and she's kind of flat chested and her legs. When I was watching the trailer, like I've done running for about a decade, and her legs are very chunky. Like she doesn't have athletic legs. They don't look good. So they hired this very mid, kind of loose-bodied, flat-chested woman to play an Amazonian warrioress. And like, who the fuck wanted that, man? Like, come on. Just hire a really athletic girl with big tits who looks awesome.
Reaper, how did you explain that movie, Reaper?
Wrong with that? Like why? They can't help themselves. They just fucking can't do it.
You explained it like they were... how did you say it? They gave the woman for the male gaze, but still made her a girl boss. Is that correct?
Yeah, this ties into this where it's like some guys saying, "Let's go back to the 2000s, like male gaze objectivism." But the problem is the story is full of like girl boss shit, so it's kind of this half measure they're going for, and it's the worst of all worlds.
That actress actually used to be hot. Like if you watched Revenge, which I think was one of her debut films. Oh my god, she was like a solid 10 out of 10 knockout in that film.
I'm sure she's a good-looking woman, but it doesn't fit the Red Sonja body.
That's what's point.
It's not what I imagine when I think of Red Sonja. Like it doesn't capture the imagination in the same way. Like even Brigitte Nielsen did, a much better job of that. It just looks like the comic more, and that just looked like a miscast. Like, I'm not a fan of the IP, but I know what it is, and it looks really badly miscast when I saw the trailer.
Well, if you had the right casting, like everyone talks about Raquel Welch in A Million Years BC. That's what a really brilliant casting does. This one was, as you said, mid.
Well, they put the effort in when it comes to the males. That's how Arnie came to prominence in the 90s, because they needed someone who fit the bill and have the size. That's how the Mountain came into Thrones. Like they go to strongman, they go to different type of like fighters. You find the right people, but they only do that for the males. With the women, it seems like they always cop out. And I was looking at from Abby to Red Sonja. There's women in strong, like in doing powerlifting competitions and different athletes that they could utilize, but they never go to them for casting to get realistic casting for things like Red Sonja. So we end up with some twink who shouldn't even be there.
This ties back to the article. It's like we are forced to go backwards to a better time but we are going to fight it every tooth and
Every
nail.
step of the way.
So
Yeah.
we're not going to get models. We're going to get women who aren't. They're more attractive than usual, but not that attractive. They're going to wear the skimpy armor, but they're going to be cringe all movie.
And even then, you'll still get the fundamental misunderstanding of whose gaze you're targeting, because we probably are seeing a little bit of a correction at this stage, though not a very good one. But within just the timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you will begin with people like Chris Hemsworth and people like Chris, the other one. There's too many Chris's. Thor. Which one plays? That's Hemsworth. Chris Evans is the other one.
Oh, there's three Chris's. Jesus.
There are three of them, yeah. But they are there. Kind of, obviously women like to look at them, but they're also in the oldest style male heroic mold of being like, these are characters that young men want to embody, so that they look impressive for that reason. It's a different type of male gaze targeting. Then you get to Thor Love and Thunder, and it's no longer about that, but you'll still do the naked scene, but then the gaze you're targeting is exclusively the female audience that you want. That's the sexualized kind of expression, which is allowed when it comes to a female audience, but not allowed when it comes to a male audience. And until you get, as I'm not arguing that we should stop sexifying and objectifying all actors, because that's fundamental and has always been a part of art. I just think that if you want to actually solve the problem Disney has with Gen Z males, you need to start allowing people to objectify women in the way that you expect women to objectify men these days.
Yeah,
parity works. That's how it functions.
You're 100% right, Platoon. But what you just said verbatim, like if you were to say that in a Disney board meeting, if they were sitting around discussing, okay, guys, how do we get men back? And you said you need to start allowing directors and filmmakers to objectify women the same way men are objectified, you would be fired by the end of the day.
Pretty much. Yeah. Even though it's the truth, that you need to treat it like it's the same thing, and then it'll go away. The way they highlight it makes it a bigger issue.
Well, you got to like frame it like it's their decision. Like women liberation is them showing more skin. Like you've got to do that. You've got to try and trick them.
No, it just goes against society, because I mean, OnlyFans makes how many billions of dollars?
So,
but
sex
we can't
sells
put it in the movie.
Sex sells. It's been a fundamental part of life forever, and it's just like,
I know, it's so
ignore
insane.
that. It's so stupid. It's inherently inhuman. It's just a part of everyday life. And
I recently, this is, sorry to interrupt, but I gotta tell you this. I recently rewatched the Disney sequel Star Wars trilogy, because I'm doing some videos on them.
Why?
Why?
And the only positive romantic relationship that is portrayed on screen is that little lesbian kiss at the end of Rise of Palpatine. All the everything else is either platonic or it's a straight relationship that is portrayed negatively.
There's hints. There's hints at them. You know what? The one thing that a lot of people didn't talk about is they tried to make Leia a lesbian. Her whole thing with Holdo was super, like, you just, all their subtext was right there. Even Holdo, when she does the fucking Holdo maneuver, everyone's celebrating except Leia. Leia has this depressed face.
I just read that as that's because they're old friends and the movie was trying to retcon that into existence. I do like the idea that Princess Leia enjoys a good Holdo maneuver, but I don't necessarily think that was in the movie.
Watch the scenes with her and Holdo again. They have some awkward tension in their goodbye. I'm 100%.
It's not just the actresses.
No, man, I'm very, very set on this. I think it's like legit was put in there for a reason. If you look at all their scenes.
Gotta read the super chat, a $50 super chat from Flummox Buffoon 87. Best show in the universe.
Probably.
Yes. Thank you very much for that.
But there is the double standards, because this thing, it popped across my Twitter timeline yesterday. There's this is it called Direbound? I think it's Direbound. It's this new, another romantasy thing in female novels. I use the word novels advisedly because they're not. They're just smut, really. Which apparently it's a self-published thing a couple of months ago, and immediately it exploded and it's massively popular. And the premise is exactly what you'd expect from sort of chip-lit romantasy type stuff. Like, it's basically fucking a load of wolves and female empowerment stuff. But I was kind of interested to see if it would be exactly what I thought it was going to be from like the premise and the blurb and the picture that was attached to it. So there's just a short paragraph from the opening of the book, and in your minds, I'm going to invite you, swap the genders around and see if this book would be published.
Okay.
So this paragraph goes, if there's one thing I've learned in my 23 years alive, it is this. Women in pain give men confidence. It stirs up something instinctive deep inside them that makes them believe they have the upper hand, even if every logical piece of evidence screams at them they do not. confidence makes men sloppy, and sloppy men are easy targets. So swap that around, and then you get the sentence, confidence makes women sloppy, and sloppy women are easy targets. In your first page of a massively successful new chick lit novel, do you think it would be published if it was a romantasy book targeted at men? And the
Sounds like
genders
a
were
serial
reversed or
killer.
not? I know.
It's crazy.
First page. But like, this has a massive audience, and you know, you can blame the audience if you want, but people like it and people buy it and people sell it. My argument is really just that if you're allowing this in one direction, then you should allow it in the other direction. If it's financially successful in one direction, it'll probably be financially successful in the other direction as well.
No.
So let's
Why
just do
is
that.
There's no
Why
logical
is it-
consistency for double standards when it comes to men and women.
No,
It's
not
all
at all.
separate things.
Double
None.
standards is exactly what it is. Why is it? Does it seem like a male fantasy? Like if you were to write a novel, it would be that, you know, you're the hero, you succeed in your mission, you get the woman, you start a family, and women's fantasy would be to be fucking choked to death and and be raped. Like, what is the difference here? And
Well,
why is the difference
What was
here?
Lego? I think Lego spent a fortune on studies, and they came to the
Yes.
conclusion when boys have a Batman doll, they become Batman. Batman does this, so I'll do it. Girls will turn Batman into a toy.
Into
that they-
yeah.
yeah, they'll
Yeah,
turn
have him
into
doing a
what they
tea
want to
party.
be.
They'll bring him around the other dolls. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I really think about
But
that.
it was
Just
the
a fundamental
conclusion of the
difference.
study, which is when Lego realized, because they tried to do boy brand and girl brand Lego stuff, and it was sort of working to a degree, but they were trying to make it so they could have essentially a universal brand equally adored by everyone. And the study's conclusion was that you can give boys Lego and they will build houses and they will build trucks and they will use them. The reason girls weren't buying this stuff is that inside the house there was nothing to do. So when Lego started introducing brands and aspects which would allow you to populate the interior of a house, to make home, to do all the things girls like doing, lo and behold, sales shoot up because boys and girls can both enjoy playing with Lego, but they both enjoy playing with Lego in fundamentally different ways. And you need to understand both of those different ways if you're going to sell equally to both genders. So there is an essential difference which actually predates most socialization as well, because like these differences in play are exhibited from basically the beginning of life. The moment a baby can walk or crawl around, they have different habits in play. Lego understood this and catered its product accordingly. Hollywood understands this in one direction and hates it in the other direction. So now they're in the problem they have at the moment. They can't attract Gen Z boys because they refuse to do what Lego did.
Well, it's a weird thing because Lego pays for a study and then follows it. Like they pay for a study, go boys like these type of films, and they'll go, well, I'll just ignore that. We can program them. We can engineer them to like Twilight.
That's what's crazy about Disney. It's like you have studies like that break it down for you. You have common sense and just history with biology, dealing with men and women throughout your life and just understanding the difference between them. You have everything there for you, and you choose to ignore it and waste millions and millions of dollars making terrible products. It's crazy. It should be studied.
You ignore studies at your peril. There was when the Germans were about to invade Russia during Barbarossa, they got this really competent, really sort of geek general who did a lot of wargaming called Paulus. And they said, okay, Paulus, you're going to wargame our invasion of Russia. So Paulus went off and he wargamed it. And he came back and said, yeah, we can't win that war. And their response was, yes, we can go back and go back and game it again and make us win this time. And didn't work out too well for them.
I like the way if he's in the bunker at the end of the war going, I told you. I told everyone.
Our final topic for today on the BSUP before we go to the After Dark show, of course. Jaws actually opened in second place at the box office. Not that the box office is doing well right now, but the 50th anniversary re-release earned $8.1 million domestically.
Nice.
So a nice little story to wrap it up today. I'm going to see this on Wednesday, I think, before it leaves theaters. I'm really excited. It's one of my it's one of 5 movies I desperately wanted to see in theaters at some point.
Nice.
Yeah.
I might actually.
Isn't this leading the Labor Day box office so far? Actually, this
second
re-release?
place, but still, that's
Okay.
fantastic. It's a re-release of a 50-year-old movie. That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so good. Like, you
It
can
is
understand
so
why.
good,
It is
man.
such a good film.
Yeah. Like I've watched it like maybe 2 months ago. I'll fucking watch it again just in theaters. Who cares? It's so solid.
Plus, like the practical effects of the shark when it's on the boat, like that hasn't dated at all.
No,
Was Jaws the first example of a franchise that Hollywood raped to death?
Sequelitis. That's what I like to call it.
It might be
one of them. What's
it was the
first?
first. It was the first big blockbuster. In fact, it created the blockbuster, and then they made like 48 sequels, and it's dead now. So it might be the first IP that was sort of milked to death by Hollywood.
It's between that and Jurassic Park, for what I could think of, or maybe
Jurassic
Alien.
Park was 90s.
Alien probably beats it.
It was a little bit after, wasn't it? Was it like 78 or something, or 79?
I think so. I think George is before those two because it's the first summer blockbuster, isn't it? I mean,
sorry, Alien was 79. I would have answered that sooner, but my girlfriend brought me a grilled cheese sandwich.
It's a keeper. Well, Despot, just to add to that too, is like I find it interesting. Like sequelitis is gonna come up for a lot of franchises where they just burn it into the ground and forget what made it work. But it's the ones that aren't affected by all the sequels, which I find fascinating. Where Jurassic has been just destroyed by all its sequels, where nobody talks about Jaws 4: The Revenge. Everybody just thinks about the first one. So sometimes it's easier to ignore.
There's two types of sequelitis. There was the sequels like Ridley Scott, who did it directly, like Gladiator 2. But then there was always like American Pie Bandcamp. You know, like these random filmmakers just buy the brands and they make their own movie.
Oh, yeah. They turned that into a National Lampoon thing, right?
Yeah, it's like it's
American
different.
Pie.
We've got Ridley Scott coming back for Alien 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, or Mark Hamill coming for TLJ. So that's what makes it official. Even like Dark Fate is the hardest to ignore of the Terminator movies because it actually has Linda Hamilton coming back. So it's just when you bring back these OG actors, it just makes it a little bit more.
And she
legitimate.
hates children.
Oh, that fucking movie!
It's terrible.
The mother of mankind is like, fuck kids, get an abortion.
Yeah, they made her a hateful, jealous asshole. They just ruined her completely.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we have a shit ton of super chats to get to. Does anyone else have anything?
I just wanted to ask Despot because he wasn't around for it. What's your prediction on Doomsday? We generally as a panel don't think it's going to make $1 billion.
I think it'll lose money because it could make $1 billion and still lose money. That's how massive the budget's going to be. Just when you look at the casting and how much RDJ was paid, the budget for the actors alone is going to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And then you've got the audience is going to expect massive spectacle. So the budget's going to be $400 million easy. And then another 100 million for marketing. So I think it's going to flop. I think it's not going to make its money in theaters.
But do you think it'll hit $1 billion?
Yeah.
Avengers Doomsday.
Fantastic Four has only just crossed 500 million, and it's the movie to set up this one.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's coming out next year. It's got RDJ coming back. Fuck.
If it was Spider-Man, I'd say yeah.
$1 billion for Avengers Doomsday. I'd say no. I don't think it'll make $1 billion. It's very hard to make $1 billion these days.
Too much.
Yeah.
I think it will probably crack $1 billion, but in that Deadpool and Wolverine area, because I think it'll open so huge, it'll have, even if it falls off the face of the earth, just numbers say it'll play out to $1 billion, but its quality is going to matter because word of mouth matters. When it comes to Batman versus Superman over 10 years ago, that opened to over $500 million worldwide over its opening weekend and didn't hit $1 billion. So,
do you think Secret Wars will do better or worse after Doomsday?
Worse.
Yeah.
Especially if Doomsday is dog awful, which it probably will be. So
we mentioned this earlier. We had one of the best superhero movies ever setting up Endgame with Infinity War. So unless you have something on par with that, I just don't see what they're going to do.
Grilled cheese is life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of the most delicious. For something that's so simple, it's so delicious.
With tomato soup.
Delicious.
With tomato soup. Yes.
Ooh, all right. She's definitely a keeper then.
Yeah. Tomato soup, right? Yeah. Gotta have that. Mm-hmm. But we do have all kinds of super chats to get to. The show does go on after the show too, because we have After Dark link in the description for that as well. But let's get it cracking with these. Holy 34 waiting. TGV Monster. Hi everyone. Good seeing you all. It's good seeing you too, man.
How's he always first? How does he time
He's
that?
always first. He doesn't even have to say first. He just knows it's going to happen. He also said, loved the Blue Room last week with Jedi and Cynic. EFAP Envy was great with the anniversary was great with so many great topics like Boogie's interest and strap on.
It's not for so long. It's all a blur at this point. I barely remember what I said. It's just, but yeah, for anyone who hasn't checked that out, the Roger Jackson situation really pissed off both of us. We did a stream on it. I made a video on it. I threw it up on my second channel. Detailing
I re-uploaded it to the whole chat. I re-uploaded to Monday Night Cynic, which is in the descriptions on my videos if you want to check it out.
For the people who showed up for that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, over 200 people showed up on a movie channel to discuss pro wrestling. So that's that was fucking crazy. I did not anticipate that many people watching.
Yeah, not exactly pro wrestling. It's just it was a topic that touched so many different parts, from streaming to fighting to wrestling to just decency. So it was a really interesting topic to be able to discuss.
Yeah, we'll go into more detail on After Dark because there's there's more information regarding that topic that's come out. Ruddy X2J says, thoughts on the window and seasons so far, Ploots?
Sorry, thoughts on the what?
On the window and season so far?
Oh, that will be, I guess, football. And I don't have many yet, really. It's a bit too soon to say. Only 2 games in, and now we have an international break where nobody watches football because it's boring as fuck. So, don't know, not sure.
I'm muted. TGB Monsters gifted 1 little Platoon membership.
Thank you.
Hemorrhoid Hurts says, BSUP usually my gym time, but not today. Lucky me. Tay sends in $5. Happy Labor Day, everyone, and let the spooky season begin. Yes.
It's coming.
Get to celebrate Halloween for 2 months. I love it.
Are you a Halloween or Christmas guy?
Halloween, yeah.
I'm Christmas.
They should make that an actual official holiday in America so we can have it off.
You should have a week off for Halloween.
Yeah. Drew Dude says, spent 2 hours today with my jaws pried open, numbed, drilled, and filled. Still can't feel half my face or eat solid foods. Thanks for the distraction.
But hold on, he was drilled and filled. What's that got to do with his face?
Yeah.
Well, it might have to do with his face, actually.
Got to yourself, buddy.
Toivo Corhonen says, idea for BSUP 100. Make a huge tier list where you rank all adult MCU characters by sex appeal. Try to get some diversity to the panel so you can be fair to male and female characters. Hey, we have Vex here. And there's a gay dude.
We were just talking about that right before Platoon popped in. Of just like we through him and Vex, we can probably do a pretty decent tier list because we and the girls,
When you're rating Black Widow, do you have to decide when she was peak, or do you just give her
Iron Man
rating?
2?
You gotta decide when she's peak, and it was
that's tough, man. That's tough.
Prime.
I actually would love to do this, by the way. This sounds like a lot of fun, just degenerate fun.
She was peak in Iron Man 2, wasn't she? I thought Avengers was pretty great, but
Iron Man 2 was when she was wearing that sort of office white shirt and she was trying to seduce RDJ.
Yeah.
That's when they cared about
that's
sex
fucking
and appeal. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He was actually flirting in Iron Man 2. He's like, oh, I want one.
Oh, yeah. When he sees her and says, I want one. Yeah.
RDJ from Iron Man 2 would get canceled nowadays. But we're just like, what? Come on. Who the fuck would... Everyone knows what we're looking at when it came to Prime ScarJo. Like, come on now.
Vetsila says, Jedi, please, if you hear them ringing the bells, call off the attack.
Is this just my life? Just getting baited with Game of Thrones quotes? Yes, I'm annoyed just by you saying that. Fuck season 8.
And we all suffer because of it too.
Yes, it's just fucking terrible. Historically bad media. That's why it always comes up.
Spiegel says, with no finished script and actors either at each other's throats or threatening to walk off set, I'd say the greatest threat this movie has is itself. A delay would not be a surprise. And it was delayed, actually. It was already delayed to Christmas next year.
I can't remember who said it. I think it was on EFAP, but the discussion around the movie and all the drama is probably going to be more interesting than the movie itself. Like, I want to see fucking RDJ argue with Ryan Reynolds. I want to see those egos clash.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be cool.
I didn't even know Deadpool was confirmed for Doomsday until you guys mentioned it earlier. He's in Doomsday?
So I thought I saw Ryan Reynolds actually post like an Avengers logo and he drew something over it.
Yeah, he
Or
did.
like a Deadpool drew something over it.
So Wolverine's in it as well then?
I would imagine.
Because
I mean, because that movie made so much money, they're obviously going to just have them in there.
They're gonna have to.
You have to.
Yeah, okay.
Including all 3 Spider-Men too, I would imagine.
They
I
make
just
those
thought-
decisions before script decisions, which is so backwards, man.
Yeah.
Imagine they had all this fuel and all these actors and all these characters to work with, and they actually had a proper script that they cared about.
But you know what's going to happen? The
Totally.
movie's going to bomb, and then someone's going to make a TV show about the production and about how disastrous it was.
I'd
Yeah.
love that.
I
I'd love
want
that
to-
actually.
I'd love
Because-
That'd be great.
Nowadays, when you see behind the scenes, it's all clean and gloss and PR sanitized. Back in the day, you'd get to see the nitty gritty and all the struggles. We need to get back to that. Like, I want to see all the chaos that's happening in Disney right now, trying to get their shit back together. Tooth
For the
filling.
avoidance
Sure it
of
was,
doubt,
bro.
it was the tooth fillings. Is
Sure, it
what they
was.
Yeah.
Let it slip.
Hemorrhoid Hurts says, I imagine Reaper atop his girlfriend Nosferatu end style. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest memeable things that came out of that movie. Like
Yeah,
him
it was.
just the right. I gotta rewatch that movie again, man.
I like that movie.
Yeah,
I loved that movie.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
I liked it.
Oh my god!
I
that guy
liked
looks
it,
like
and
me.
I need to rewatch it to know where I stand. I feel like it's gonna go up or way down on a rewatch.
I saw it with a bunch of people. Like the theater was packed, and everyone was laughing at the movie. And it was so frustrating. I got up and I went outside because I was like so frustrated, and there were other people standing out there, and I was like, "Is it just me, or is this supposed to be funny and I'm just dumb?"
It's funny you say that because you're not the first person I heard like say that everyone in their theater like kept laughing. Like I went to go see it in IMAX on Christmas Day, silent theater, everyone loved it. Went to go see it again in standard, same thing. Everyone was silent, no laughing. So maybe it's an American thing. I don't know.
Or
I don't know. I think just my
structure.
local theater sucks.
It could just be the structure of the jokes. Like one of the things that worked with me in Weapons was like, I normally don't want any comedy interrupting my thriller horror attention, but these jokes kind of work. They fit with the characters.
There's no jokes in Nosferatu.
Yeah, there are no jokes in Nosferatu.
That's what I mean. You shouldn't be laughing at that. Weapons, I could understand because the jokes actually were well constructed. Nosferatu, I don't get people laughing.
It's
at that.
almost like they went to see the movie ironically, is what it seemed like the whole fucking theater. And it almost became contagious. Like everyone's like, oh, I hear Gen Z kids laughing. I guess we're, it's supposed to be amusing.
I've never laughed because someone else was laughing. I'll just be like looking around. What's the joke? You know, like I just doesn't work.
I was so lost.
How do you
So
hear his voice and then laugh after that? I was locked in after the introduction of Nosferatu.
Actually, when he spoke the first time was when I heard laughter.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's
okay, I
strange.
guess if it didn't work for you, I get it.
But the whole theater, that's why I was just like, I guess I'm just retarded. I don't know. I thought it was good. James Busher actually sent in a emoji that I can read. It's peace sign. Thank you. Usually we can't see stickers or anything like that. Istophobos says Avengers Doomsday will struggle to break 800 million. Mark me.
That's my
You've been
prediction.
marked.
Oh, I should have had a little notepad tracking our predictions.
We
Really.
actually
Write
should.
it down right
I think
now.
this would be
here.
fun. Do you want to do it? Like actually
Yeah.
see who gets
Okay.
closest?
What's everyone's Doomsday predictions?
1.3.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it safe with 800. Right in the
Okay.
middle.
950.
Okay.
920.
You bastard.
$1. $1, Bob.
935.
You sons of bitches. 3 ways.
All right. I'm gonna go like 869. There you go.
Do you want to list them out so we know where everyone stands, like in order?
All right. So Cynic is at 1.3 billion.
You're a
Hi.
mad lad.
Jedi,
I'm
you're
right.
at 800. Reaper's at 950. I think this is supposed to. Why did I already see it? Platoon is at 920. Despot is at 935, and I am at 869.
Okay. So I'm the lowest. Okay. So you're the highest.
I'm the
Cynic,
only
Lucia.
one that thinks it's going to crack $1 billion on this panel.
Yeah.
Huh?
1.1? Yeah, that's crazy.
I said 1.3.
What you think, Deadpool and Wolverine numbers?
Yes.
Nah.
Yeah, I really do. I think that it will open big enough that it will limp its ass over that finish line.
Even Deadpool and Wolverine had the appeal of those two together for the first time. There was something there. This has nothing.
It
Right,
was also,
but people
it was also
liked
an
that.
entertaining movie, like with Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's shit, but it was fun. It was entertaining. It was
Yeah.
good popcorn fodder. Whereas I could see this Doomsday just being a big mess that no one likes.
Just to add on to that as well, when we look at kind of the list of characters that are attached to it, which I think it's over like 30, most of the characters that they got to make cameos from like those original X-Men films, nobody gives a flying fuck about. Everybody loves Wolverine. Everybody loves Professor X. So that will automatically drive up fanfare. Nobody gives a fuck about Alan Cummings' Nightcrawler fanfare. Like,
well, they could. He's got one of the most
could.
iconic scenes in movie history in terms of action intro scenes. It's legendary.
be
But
honest.
you're right. I think Hugh
Yeah,
Jackman's
I'm right.
Wolverine success is probably one of the worst things that ever happened to the X-Men because nobody cares about the rest. I would love to see an original X-Men with Morph and Beast and the beginning of the Professor X starting the entire organization, but they don't have the balls to do a story without Wolverine. They just won't.
I've got another quick. I just want to ask the panel, right? Quick prediction: does Avatar 3 make less than 2 billion? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes.
There How much
has
does Way of Water make?
They have to be
2.1 or something like that.
all the money, Platoon. All
I
the money.
think it will make slightly less than The Way of Water, but I don't understand this. I can't predict this one because I don't understand how they make this money.
I've got
It
it.
made 2.3 billion dollars.
It's fucking crazy.
Way of Water made 2.3 billion. I think
How?
I think
What the
exactly,
fuck?
but I don't get it with Avatar, man. But I reckon Avatar 3 with those fucking red ones, it's different because it's red. All right, it's gonna make over 2 billion. It's gonna make over 2 billion.
We were blown away that Aquaman made $1 billion. That made more than double that with those stupid blue people. But I
Despot, you
think
might be onto
Yeah,
something.
but Jedi, they're red
Yeah.
now.
that changes
red.
everything. You know what? I was gonna say we had like 10 years between the first and second Avatar, so that might be the biggest factor. But you bring up the fact that they're red. I don't know. That's a curveball. I can't-
It has
I
no
can't-
competition at the Christmas
It's
box
making
office.
2 billion. It's definitely making 2 billion.
God, what world are we in? Retro Respawn says, you know what movie I'm going to the theater to see on the big screen tomorrow? Jaws. Hell yeah. Without such re-releases, the theater would struggle so badly.
It's
I
so
wonder
good.
if it's
man.
showing near me. I'd like to go and see that.
It's so good. Everyone should just go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm going on Wednesday for sure.
Did nobody see Toxic Avenger, or no one's interested in seeing Toxic Avenger? Because that
I
was
I don't even know
just
what it is.
saw
What
that
I've heard
was
of
it.
it. What is
Yeah,
it?
what is that,
Oh,
Vex?
yeah.
I saw something about it on Film Threat. What is it?
It's like some remake of a 80s schlock film series, which I myself have never seen. But this just went through release hell. That was the only reason that I ever heard of it. So it is a superhero black comedy splatter film written and directed by Macon Blair. Oh, it's actually the 5th installment, not necessarily a reboot.
Is the
And is it a-
Hemogoblin in it? Does it have the Hemogoblin?
I wish.
I will watch it
so-
if he's in there.
Set in a fantasy world, the film follows janitor Winston Goose, who, after a freak
Goose.
attack, transforms into a mutant vigilante known as Toxie. Armed with his mop, the unlikely hero battles freaks, gangsters, and corrupt CEOs while trying to save his relationship with his son.
Okay.
Hmm.
So no Hemogoblin. I'm out.
I
It
mean,
said 2023 is when it was finished, and it's only coming out now this year.
it couldn't find a distributor for 2 years. It could not find a distributor.
Is this an indie movie?
I think it leans more towards that. Yeah.
Peter
it's-
Dinklage as
Yeah,
a
but-
little mutant.
I hate
Is it
Elijah.
really?
He's
Yeah,
got
it is.
Elijah. This has Elijah Wood and Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
What a combo. What the hell?
What the fuck?
What kind of combo is that? Kevin Hart,
Kevin-
I think he sucks at everything, so you immediately lose my interest. When
No, Kevin Bacon, not Hart, not the little
Oh,
black one, the
why
tall
did
white
I-
one.
Okay,
The
okay,
tall white one.
Okay,
The
that makes-
legend.
I was picturing Frodo and Kevin Hart, and I'm like, that just doesn't. That should not mix.
No,
ever.
no, that'll
Like,
work. I mean, I could definitely make Elijah Wood and Kevin Bacon work. That's a fantasy pairing.
Kevin Bacon's cool. I'll always like him from Hollow Man. That's just one.
I've heard a lot of people say those original Toxic Avengers films are a lot of fun. I just never got around to them. So
They
like,
are.
I'm
When I was a
curious.
kid, I liked them. They were really
Okay.
brutal too.
Nice. All right.
Well, this
Definitely
one's got a lot of
B-movie
gore.
schlock. It was a lot of fun, though. Echo Chamberlain, our friend, sent in a super chat saying, Reaper, thanks for showing us Hemogoblin, the comic book character who is a genetically engineered vampire with AIDS. Biggest laugh this year.
One of the greatest stream tangents ever. Just randomly pulling up ancient villains and just being like, look at this one.
That is perfect for After Dark right there.
Just couldn't believe how they kept getting stupider. Wow.
Yeah. Hemorrhoid Hurts sends in another one. Aquaman is ground zero for my hate. Utter shite.
It was a shit movie. A
I've never
really
seen it.
shit
It's
movie.
bad.
It's generic, like just generic superhero formula, but in massive green screen underwater world. That's it.
But for an example, Doctor Strange is using the Iron Man formula. That's still a better movie. You can be generic and still be decent. You know?
I would argue that Doctor Strange was still boring as fuck. Like I
It was
fell
pretty
asleep
boring.
3
I
times
skipped
trying to
it.
watch that.
Yeah.
Well, I watched it myself, but we were I'm showing Amy all of the Marvel movies that we agreed on are essential. Doctor
Mhm.
Strange, not one of them.
No, you can literally have him show up in Infinity War, be like, "Oh, who's that guy?" And then
Well,
through
I was gonna watch.
dialogue,
Did we agree that Thor Ragnarok was required viewing?
No,
kinda
it
need-
didn't.
Waiting where Hulk went.
You gotta explain where Hulk went, or you're going to be really
Doctor
confused
Strange
there.
appears first in that movie
And-
too,
and
so you can
also-
kind of get away with that.
The ending of Ragnarok ties directly to Infinity War because
Yeah.
his ship is attacked by Thanos and
Yeah.
Hulk
Yes.
loses.
Okay, so
You
that's
definitely
next
need it to
then.
some degree.
That's next on the list.
And it sets up the payoff with Loki and Thor. Like it's really hard
Mhm.
to care about that death scene without Ragnarok. So
Yeah.
I would throw it in.
So out of curiosity, what have you showed her so far then?
Okay, so did Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
Captain America,
Mm-hmm.
and then Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Just skipped out on Hulk and Thor,
Mm-hmm.
and then Winter Soldier, Guardians, Age of Ultron,
Mm-hmm.
and then Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's next up is just going to be Thor Ragnarok and then Infinity War Endgame.
Yeah. that's streamlined.
What's been her favorite so far?
Civil War and Guardians.
Marry her.
Yeah.
Marry that
I'm
woman.
going to. She brought me grilled cheese and
Yes,
tomato
grilled
soup,
cheese.
man.
Civil
Come
War.
on.
You're not going anywhere. And Black Panther, you can just be like, oh yeah, there's from Wakandan. They're over there. Just summarize.
Oh
it
yeah,
real
well
quick.
he was introduced in Civil War, so you
Oh,
get
yeah,
that
you don't
idea,
even
and
need
then you see Wakanda in Infinity War when Cap arrives. So
Yep.
totally
the
fine.
end credit scene for Civil War, that 90 seconds is better than Black Panther. Just show them that, and you're good. That's it. You're gonna make
Yep.
it up in your head.
Tai Fung says Superman is so overpowered that it seems writing for him requires expert level skill. I suspect the main weakness of his is to be exploited would have to be his vulnerability to magic, not kryptonite.
Or his vulnerability to having people that he loves and cares about who are human and therefore vulnerable. Honestly, it is the best thing dramatically to do. He needs to have people he loves in danger. That's what you do.
I think the opposite is true. I think Superman is such an easy character to write for. You could so easily make a good superhero. It's be difficult to make a great Superman movie, but a good Superman movie, very easy. Lex Luthor is very intelligent and suave, and he goes after Superman's loved ones. And maybe you can throw a bit of kryptonite in there and some fun battles. That's really about it. You don't need to do anything special. You don't need to have a million characters and the gangbang or whatever they're called. It's such an easy thing to do. A competent high schooler could write a good Superman story.
Overpowered characters are fundamentally more difficult to write, but people treat Superman like he's impossible and they can only do it this one way. There's plenty of things you can work around, and yeah, we've touched on it a lot this stream. But they focus on the one aspect of him that is just boring and unappealing, instead of really making him a complex character that has to deal with this dilemma. How do you stop cancer or any of these other things? We have all these powers. You can lift a building, but he can't be everywhere at once. There's a lot of things that they could have dealt with. And they even in the Batman, like the opening dialogue addressing that he's trying to create a symbol because he knows he can't be everywhere at once. They address it immediately in that movie, and they
you could do something like you could have a bomb in a skyscraper in Tokyo and another one in New York, and they're going to go off at the same time, right? And Superman has to decide which he's going to save. I think that's really interesting, you know.
It's a sadistic choice. It's the scene from Spider-Man 1 where you choose between the kids or Mary Jane. It's so simple.
it's like that. It's just simple things like that. You know, Lex Luthor can be a sort of sadistic genius. You know, not Joker type. He's too clear thinking for that. But and let Lex Luthor be Lex Luthor. That was why I despised that James Gunn movie, just because of what he did with Lex Luthor. I hated that so much.
It'd be cool trying to see an intelligent Lex Luthor trying to test Superman's morality. Getting Superman to break his code is more interesting to him than killing Superman. Like that type of malicious. Go ahead.
In the cartoon, he becomes president just to fuck with him.
Yeah,
like that's how cool Lex Luthor is. It's like, what are you gonna do? I'm the president. I'm not actually breaking the law. I'm making the law. Do what I want.
That sounds way more interesting than what we got. Because I remember Lex Luthor being the most interesting part of Smallville for me because he was intelligent. You need that. Otherwise, he's just Dreykov, James Gunn's Lex Luthor. We can't have these crime boss guys just be idiots over and over again.
Well, how many intelligent characters have we had this year who are fucking retarded? Yeah, like Broccoli Head from Captain America was a retard.
Moron.
Lex Luthor, retard. Riri Williams, retard.
Completely.
Right in the name. Bass Player 2011 says Superman has the same problem Batman does. They adapt the same 2 or 3 comics over and over again. They do. They do.
Isn't it All-Star Superman?
This one is All-Star Superman. Yeah.
That's the way he flies into the sun.
By the way, Graham Greene just died, apparently.
Who?
The default Native American guy in every movie.
Who?
The one Native American guy they casted every Native American movie.
What? I thought that was Lou Diamond Phillips.
Okay, the other one.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a picture. I'm
There's 2 for 2 on us being shit with Indians on this stream.
Here, I'll post the link.
What the fuck?
You'll recognize him when you see him.
All right, send me the link.
Oh, I'm genuinely curious.
David Smart Jr. says, guys, are you watching The Conjuring 4? I can't wait. I can wait, but I'll go see it because it's my job. Yeah.
Well, keeping track of horror and what's going on with that franchise, I'll be interested. But
so I have to watch the first 4.
The first one's okay. It's not terrible, but
this guy.
Yeah, this guy.
Pull him up.
And yes, Dave L. He was in Twilight. He was Jacob's dad in Twilight.
Okay, now I'm excited.
Hang on. I'll pull that up so everyone can see. Yeah, he is a person that we should honor for a microsecond here.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. You said pull it up and I see Ice Cube. I still need to watch that movie, man.
It was this guy.
Right. He was in Echo. He was in Echo. Yeah, he was the best part of Echo.
That's a shame. That's the thing I really remember him from. But yes,
that is a shame. He was the only good.
No one is gonna remember anything from Echo, so there's no danger of that.
He was okay in that. I think he could act.
He was the only likable part. He was like trying to be nice to like his ex, and she was just a bitch. That was the only thing I can compliment. But no, Echo is you either are completely gonna forget it, or it's just stuck in your memory for like one of the worst shows humanity has ever seen. So terrible.
Intent matters. This is an excellent example of how to get a lot for your money in a super chat, folks.
Damn.
Rank from bad to worse: Rings of Power, Acolyte, Last of Us Season 2, Game of Thrones Season 8, and Ironheart. I'm shocked you left off She-Hulk.
Can I just add, like, I really thought we were gonna have one stream where Game of Thrones wasn't gonna come up.
Oh fuck,
like
no,
I
dude.
really thought.
It's BSUP lore now.
Don't look at me. I said I had nothing to do with that.
I almost put it up earlier because there was something, I think it's on the Wikipedia page for the DC film. They say we're in technically chapter 1, Gods and Monsters at the moment, and the Wikipedia page says that it was inspired by the character-driven drama of Game of Thrones. Not that it made it into Superman. I just didn't bring it up because I knew someone else would later. So on this one, I mean, from bad to worse.
I'm gonna say Rings of Power is the best. Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was gonna say maybe the like at the bottom of the barrel is season 8 for me. You're destroying a decade of storytelling.
Yeah.
Acolyte might be up next because of the moral component. What they did to Soul is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
After that is where it gets blurry for me.
After that, I'd probably go for
Last of Us.
Last of Us season
maybe-
2 for me. That's
Yeah, because
just
it was less shocking because everyone knew it was going to be terrible because they'd
True.
already done it. So it was like, well, then that's not a surprise.
But the changes
so-
they made were even worse.
in terms of
True.
sheer god awfulness, though. Like The Last of Us season 2 is just, it does everything wrong. It's an appalling show. In terms of its writing quality, it's astounding. It's amazing. You can write something that bad and you can have it.
We're talking
made.
about Rings of Power and Ironheart. And
I know,
Iron
but
Heart.
bangers.
Rings of Power, as it's absolute garbage, but it has a few things like Durin
what?
and
Durin
what's
is
his name?
retarded. What are you
Of
talking
course,
about?
they're all retarded, but
He was
the
decent in
elf-
season 1.
No, the elf and Durin have a kind of bro thing going on. That's
Well,
all
they
right.
do in season 1, but then in season
Yeah, and
2
they
they decide that
fucking-
well,
I
the
can't-
dwarves were the best bit about season 1, so season
Yeah.
2 set itself about
can't
ruining
remember
them as
season
quickly
2,
as
man.
possible.
Season
Season
2
2 fucked up everything that you're describing in season 1. That
I
Yeah.
just watched season 2. Like I half paid attention to it. I thought it was funny. I didn't even review it. It was kind of, it was like, it was so bad that it was good at times. Season 2, I was enjoying it honestly at times.
It
I
was
think
really
you've
funny.
convinced me that it might be the best because it's so worthless. You can just roll your eyes and ignore most of it. Where the Acolyte, The Last of Us, and especially Ironheart, like Ironheart doesn't know how wishes work. She wishes her AI back instead of her best friend at the end when she has to deal with the fucking devil. Like you're an idiot. You are a complete moron if you don't know the difference between those two things. So
But then, like, Ironheart didn't surprise me with how terrible it
Yeah.
was. So I'd almost say, like, from best to worst, I'd almost go Ironheart best, Last of Us season 2 next best, because these have already been done. We know what this is going to be.
It's so
Then you
miserable.
start getting into the thing where you expect it to be bad, and it's somehow infinitely worse than that.
yeah.
So that would probably be then
Acolyte.
Acolyte, then Rings of Power, then season 8.
Mhm.
I think.
Like
Yeah.
Ironheart has the Ironhead scene. It literally has one excellent scene. I can't
And that
think
is
of
a
any other
very
show.
good scene.
Yeah, it's one scene that has no business being in there. It's fantastic. It's well acted. It has a lot. It's what we should have gotten from that character if they were going to write her with some intelligence. So I'm with you, Platoon. I think you just convinced me. Ironheart number 1. I can't believe I'm saying it, but yeah, I'll put that
Well,
over all those.
You've got to take into account runtime because the last episode of Rings of Power is like an hour and a half.
Oh, and it's so bad.
You can watch 3 Ironheart videos in that time.
They tried to do the Battle of Pelennor Fields again. They tried to do the Theoden charge, but they
But
did it
everyone
in like the
outside
gayest
the
version
walls.
ever. Yeah, it's such a crap.
And poor Celebrimbo, who's
So
acting his
proud.
ass off all the way through the show, and he just gets fucking impaled on a wall and forced to say, "You will be the Lord of the Rings."
You remind me of
Oh.
Tom Hiddleston and Loki, where you're putting in the type of effort that this character just doesn't deserve. You know, you're trying so hard. Yeah, he was a complete joke. Celebrimbo, like talk about taking a side character and completely ruining them.
I feel kind of bad that you guys have watched that amount of bad television and all. Like that's like literally days of your life that is
I know.
lost.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
but we get to,
where's
we
Arcade
made so many
Season 2?
videos about it,
We
so
did.
it's cathartic.
It was fun. It was very good
Platoon.
fun.
yeah.
Platoon, throw in Arcane Season 2. Where does that fit into the rest
Holy
of it?
shit! And
That
I
is
mean,
like, that's what I mean. Is that not a curveball?
Arcane season 2 is more disappointing than anything on that list,
I'd
but it's
say
better than everything.
I don't know.
I will-
That vies with Game of Thrones season 8 for my least favorite of all of those because it's just
Arcane is
such a
the
downgrade.
biggest jump in quality or drop in quality from season to season, but you don't have you don't have a decade of build up. So Arcane is right after Game of Thrones season 8 because of the tremendous disappointment.
I'd
Plus,
agree with that.
You got every episode in one day. Game of Thrones is week after week of being submerged in shit.
You're one of the worst. I can't believe this is rant number 75, but fuck you guys, I'm doing it. One of the worst things about season 8 is that the first episode is actually a banger. It's like really horrifying and scary. The dude on the wall that comes back to life and everything. Like it sets you up where you thought they were gonna nail it, and then they just shat themselves after episode. So yeah. Ironheart somehow rising through the ranks to being not that bad in comparison. Yeah.
And it is still that bad. I made a video called Ironheart was a piece of shit.
It's terrible. She's fucking awful. I made 3 videos on her. She's horrendous, but there's still things there that are more viable than the rest of those shows.
Filthy Casual 69. I made an April Fool's T2 is woke video.
Terminator.
Oh, Terminator 2 is woke video. You may enjoy it. Link us up.
Those are always so dangerous, though, because so many people are idiots that they will take
Yeah.
it seriously. It's like 'cause
Yeah.
I've only done one of them, and that was like it was the Star Wars sequel trilogy is the best thing ever, or whatever it was. And the non-trivial number of people in the comment section say, "Oh my god, you Disney shill." It's like I described the trans rights activist and put Jabba the Hutt on the screen. How much more obviously a joke do you need this to be?
Who done it?
T1
What Cape film has been the best this year and why?
Probably Fantastic
Tape.
Four.
Like
Cape shit.
Oh,
superhero.
superhero.
Cape
Oh.
shit.
Yeah,
The first
Fantastic
20
Four.
minutes of Fantastic Four.
yeah.
I was actually
Yes,
interested.
agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
have to agree.
The flashback where they showed them like how they got together as a group. That little
That's cool.
moment there, like what the hell? I would have rather see that than the movie we got. So, yeah.
Yep. Bass player says people forget Marvel bet the farm on Iron Man. If it wasn't successful, the MCU wouldn't exist. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
you are 100% right.
Improv, talent, passion, and a bit of luck. It all
They
came
cared
Marvel
about making
humor-
something good to sell it. That was the big thing.
It's credited to Joss Whedon, the Marvel humor is, but Iron Man 1 is fucking funny
It's
because
fantastic.
Robert Downey Jr. is really funny.
Iron Man, Avengers, Homecoming, and even Infinity War has some decent jokes, but those are the ones that come to mind in terms of the best jokes. And maybe Guardians as well too.
Yeah, Guardians is up there for
Yeah.
comedic value for
Mhm.
sure. Before James Gunn fell into a groove of just doing that every single fucking movie.
Well, he worked with him at the actual. It's based on a comic, and he actually brought the person in for the first movie.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Well,
the comics aren't too shabby either. They're pretty good. The ones they're based on, anyway.
I've mentioned this before, but the Russo brothers went to RDJ's house to discuss Civil War and have an understanding of what the character would and wouldn't say to improve the dialogue. There's no fucking way they're doing that for Doomsday.
No way.
No way. They'll shoot him a text or like maybe. That's it.
Well, isn't Robbie Downey Jr. writing his own character's backstory or some shit?
Oh yeah, he's writing Doctor Doom's backstory because it's just an alternate Doom, so it doesn't matter.
We didn't really talk about that all the times this popped up. I have like zero hope on him recapturing what he had with Iron Man with a new
How
character.
could
in the
you?
MCU.
Yeah.
How can you? He's perfect as Iron Man, like picture perfect. And I just don't want to see him try to do something completely new and fail, or try to recreate Iron Man in a different version and have it just be embarrassing.
Well, he will pretend to be Iron Man at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I would have thought. I mean, they must do something with that. They would be almost silly not to. It's another little thing. I was looking up because I hadn't heard about the rumors of the cast feud and stuff between Robert Downey Jr. and
Reynolds. Yeah.
Reynolds. That's the one. So like, I don't know which of these two explanations is worse. One of them is that like it started over a bad joke, which is understandable because it's a
Likely.
Marvel film. But then people dispelling the story have said it's not true because they've never met. They're in the same movie. How is this possible?
Well, everyone acts against the green screen.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's in a box.
It could just be a rumor. I heard it was Pedro Pascal and Robert Downey Jr.
And it was
Wanted
Paul
to
Rudd
touch
and
him?
Ryan
Was that
Reynolds.
it?
Yeah,
He had
maybe
some
was
anxiety or
sneaking
something.
up
and he
behind
removed
him
someone's
and
hand.
massages.
No, Pedro's too soft to have any beef with anyone upset. He'd just cry in the corner or something. But I could
Yeah.
see RDJ and Ryan Reynolds' egos just clashing.
Wolfsbane says the problem with the Lost World, Jurassic Park, and JP3 is that they both went through production hell. Lost World, Spielberg's family and exhaustion, while Jurassic Park 3 went through nearly 20 scripts ranging from Contagion-esque to hybrids. Yes, and they were filming without a complete script. I remember reading about that at the time when I was a teenager because I
think
love dinosaurs, so bring them on.
it's wild that Spielberg had family issues and exhaustion with the Lost World when he's the reason Crichton even wrote the Lost World in the first place. You dickhead, Spielberg. The fuck?
You liar.
Right.
Liar. Wanna Girl says dildo shaggins is a phrase that deserves to make money, so have money, sir.
There was a dildo shaggins in the chat earlier, so it should probably go to him.
Yeah. Star Creeper says, hello, BSUP. Happy to catch a live stream. I always know it's going to be a fun time when it's the 5 of you guys. Have a swell day.
Thank you.
You too. Yeah, thank you.
Dildo shaggins is still in the chat.
Oh. He rears his head, so to speak.
Which head? Hmm.
Indeed. And Hagen says Batman and Robin movie overcame Poison Ivy better. Oh yeah, the fake lips and the yeah.
I
Was
love
that-
that movie,
Was
unironically.
that
Do you really?
Yes.
that is
Lies.
peak Uma Thurman though, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Peak.
She was having so
Yeah.
much fun in that. I kind of like
Right.
when,
Oh man,
they
I
just
that,
give it their all.
fuck. It's a good fun, corny, kind of campy.
Mhm.
It's fun
Superhero
schlock.
movie. People
They made
forget
Bane
that
an
that's
idiot. It was
that's
great.
what superhero movies were in the 90s. They were that kind of. It's actually
Campiness.
weird. I have this theory that superhero movies now have basically gone full circle and they've arrived back at that sort of super camp, dumb, cheesy,
Yep.
fun 90s.
Yep.
Does anybody agree with that? Because that's
agree with that.
all
We
I
had-
see now.
We had the
They're-
wholesome era, and then everything got a little bit more focused on the
They have
comics, and then it got
entered-
more grounded.
They've entered the parody phase of the genre cycle. They've just become parodies of themselves now, and they look
Mhm.
like they
Yeah.
did in the 90s.
That's a good observation. They've
Yep.
definitely gone full circle.
Excellent
And, like
observation.
this
Well,
is
Mr.
basically where we
Freeze,
are
man.
now.
When Arnie's going, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
I mean, but they were self-aware back then. Like at least they and the actors themselves were having so much more fun and like
And
just
they
taking it
looked
seriously.
better. Like when
Yeah.
you look at that movie,
Yeah.
Poison Ivy is hot as fuck, and
Mhm.
Arnie looks cool. He looks like the comic book character. It's fun.
I actually like his look in that. He just I think they nailed it. It's just the performance throws people off.
Like he looks good. It's just the cinematography is so bad that it comes off as looking corny, but it's really good production design. Actually, if it was good cinematography, it would look good.
Yeah.
You know what really bothers me about George Clooney's acting? He does this head bob.
Oh.
Like, go watch a George Clooney movie and see how many times he does this.
He does it. So
Can
many
he
little-
do that? Can he do that in the Batman suit when he's got
He
no
does
neck?
it. He does it in the Batman suit, but he
Dude.
like wiggles.
He plays George Clooney in every fucking movie
He
he's in. This
does,
cool guy.
yeah.
Like Gravity. I have never had a movie ruined by nonchalant acting like Gravity. I'm like, dude, you're in space, you're floating away, you're gonna die a horrible death. Act.
I know I'm gonna
Please,
die a horrible
Show
death.
me like
Crazy.
like you're someone who's about to die. Is like, you still playing cool George Clooney, man, even though he's floating away into the fucking black hole of space.
I'll catch you later.
It's so
See ya.
stupid. It ruined the film for me. I hate that movie.
Star Creeper says Despot was on the stream when I did the previous super chat, but he's also a great addition, and we agree.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
it was
I
fun.
couldn't get up at 5. If I get up at 5
Totally
a.m., I have
reasonable.
to go back to bed. But if I get up at 6 a.m., I can just fire some coffee and I'm okay.
Mm.
Totally reasonable.
Hmm.
Green Nin says, yo, just wanted to ask if y'all think James Gunn's DCU will get more ridiculous than the MCU, specifically the scale. MOM, for example, broke it.
Well, we
Oh,
already covered this with like Superman. It's already pushing at that territory
I
because
was
you
gonna
have
say.
a villain who is simultaneously a rich genius and a retard who can make black holes and universes.
It's off to a
So
good
we're
start.
already fucked. There is
Yeah, I
no
mean, it's
coming
like-
back.
If you can make many universes and create other dimensions, you have bigger fucking priorities than Superman.
Yeah,
Like you
pretty much.
can become like a being that defies space time.
Oh God.
They
A
introduced
god,
more
essentially. Like,
problems.
why are you wasting your fucking time on one guy on Earth when you can open up dimensions to other planets? Like, you should
And
be
the
off
clones.
colonizing the fucking stars. It's so dumb.
It introduces more problems in one movie than all of phase 1 of the MCU. It was so much more grounded. It's just simpler. So yeah, they have the potential to catch up to things like Doctor Strange mom. But
And
yeah,
it's like and the little title cards at the very beginning of the movie, 3 centuries metahumans have been about. Well, what does that world look like? It looks just identical to our world. No difference.
Has that movie's reputation already fallen off? Like, is the general consensus around it becoming, yeah, that was a piece of shit? Because it was quite
Not
positive
quite
when it
yet.
came out.
I
Not
think
quite yet.
people are running out of steam in terms of defending it. It doesn't seem to be as hostile.
Well,
of
it
a-
got
of a topic
it got
anymore.
released on digital. It picked back up all the Gun Bros, and now it's starting to peter off.
Yeah. Man, that thing's it's because it's gonna happen. Like a year from now, people will be looking at that movie saying, "Yeah, that was fucking garbage."
Well, when Supergirl comes out and that's shit, that's when everyone will go, yeah.
yeah.
This-
Like
that's
with
not
Alien Romulus, everyone's pretending they never liked the Alien Romulus. I always disliked the Alien Romulus because Alien Earth is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is what's gonna happen. Superman, they're gonna have all this hype around it. Supergirl's gonna come out, it's gonna suck, and then when that sucks, people will finally admit that Superman was shit, and then people will be burned out with the DCU, and Clayface will come out and be awesome, but no one will care. You know what I mean? It's gonna be Andor all over again.
That sounds like a pretty reasonable prediction.
Yeah, that's what I think will happen.
William Mariner says, went to see the Eternals. Wife fell asleep within 30 minutes, and I envy her for missing this abomination. I gave up on the MCU while watching this. Yeah, I hear you. Mr. Bone says, if this show was around in 1979, it would have prevented the 79 San Diego school shooting and the infamous I Don't Like Mondays female shooter. You guys are awesome. Reaper and Despot are hilarious.
Thanks very much, Mr. Bones.
Thank you.
There you go. BSUP prevents school shootings. You heard it here first.
Bass player says, Paul Dano in The Batman is one of the biggest wastes in cinema history. If they had just stopped the goddamn movie when he was arrested at the coffee shop, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, because everyone said the casting was great.
Until it wasn't. Fucking God.
No.
My God.
Jesus
I love that
Christ.
movie, though. I do like it for all of its flaws. Big T says, we always meant to have Imperial Walkers and giant dewback lizards in the background, but simply couldn't afford it. Trey and Matt.
I've been listening to the director's commentaries for South Park stuff because of just while doing other things. They hate doing them, which makes them quite funny. And they're only mini. And the entire time they spend just bitching about other people's movies, which makes it even more funny. Like any opportunity, shit on George Lucas, James Cameron. You learn nothing about how they wrote South Park, but everything about what they thought about the film they just saw.
Well, what was that Russell Crowe episode where they went, the reason why they did it was because Trey Parker got invited to listen to Russell Crowe's song. And he went, and nobody gave like any negative feedback but Trey, who said, well, that part's a little quick. And Russell Crowe goes, well, I'll change it for your album specifically.
Yep. That comes up in one of the commentaries on the Russell Crowe episode, saying Russell Crowe is a very talented actor. He's a very talented actor. And that's it. But apparently he's a lovely guy.
Well, yeah, it's like, but he's a shit musician.
Big T says, Inhumans became a terrible ABC TV show in 2017. It was released in IMAX too, I think, like the first couple episodes. Also, Lauren LaFranc, Penguin, and Rafe Judkins from Wheel of Time both worked on early seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They even wrote a few episodes together. Well,
it's weird because Rafe Judkins is shit. Like, he makes characters gay if you hate them. Like he literally said, if someone goes, that character isn't gay in the books, well, he'll go, well, I'll make two characters gay to spite you.
For you specifically. Big T says, Despot, what gay kiss? I saw the Chinese version.
Yeah, well, you probably didn't see Finn then.
It would be funny. It was like a big censored bar over his face all movie.
Grassroots Hegemon says, gifted 10 little Platoon memberships. Doesn't say anything. Gifted 10 little Platoon memberships.
Thank you very much.
Does say something here, actually. Excuse me. For $20, it does make me a bit sad that younger kids won't get to meet their first date at a theater for a movie. It used to be the very safe first date.
Yeah. Yeah, but now you get to meet them on Xbox Live. So
no, now you meet them on Roblox, and they're usually 3 times older than you.
Now you just don't meet them, and you remain a virgin until the age of 30.
That's right.
Which I think is like 25% of men in America. It's really depressing.
Well, now you see that asshole on OnlyFans before you even know what you look like.
I read a stat that's like 10% of US women are on OnlyFans.
Yep, that's correct. I think we brought it up on this stream like several weeks ago.
Fucking disgusting.
You say Cynic, when you say 10%, do you mean 10% between the ages of like 18 and 35?
I don't know. I don't remember what
because I did see. I looked it up, and I think it was there are 1.5 million American women on OnlyFans. Let me actually quickly look.
Jesus Christ!
How many American women are on OnlyFans?
Who's
it's the number is over 1.5 million, and that is just fucking depressing.
Jesus Christ. That's still
But it's worse. You
ridiculous
used to
number.
be able to get a hooker who'd touch you. Now you
I know,
times the
man. Like,
amount, and you
Yeah.
don't
that's
even
it.
fuck
Like,
them.
if you're gonna spend 3 hours of your time and $100, at least get a fucking ride. But what are you doing with your? I can't even, man.
I
That's
love.
like-
It's because this generation is so stuck behind their screens, they're fucking terrified to go meet a woman in person.
true.
So
I was
instead,
gonna
they just
say
hate
that.
them instead and call
OnlyFans
everyone
is-
simps who actually have a girlfriend.
OnlyFans is only
terrified.
sustainable because of the amount of lonely men that are out there right now. Like, it's an epidemic. OnlyFans wouldn't be sustainable if they actually had some type of confidence. And like, the Me Too movement is one thing that I feel like probably did so much damage to the psyche of young males. Like, the idea of approaching a woman is inherently now a negative thing. They're never going to develop those skills and the confidence you need to
Nope.
approach a
Yeah,
woman
and-
that wants to be approached, because a lot of women want that. They don't want to
That's
hit
the
on
thing
you.
as well, and you put it excellently, Jedi. You don't
Mhm.
develop those skills because
Yes.
when you start approaching women, you're fucking awful at it.
Holy
And-
shit, are you?
And like, I think back to when I started and getting really horribly awkward interactions and just shit I don't want to remember. But you have to get through those initially bad. But nowadays, if a guy goes up and he's awkward and he's clumsy, and he walks up to a girl and he says, what time is it? And he just spurts out the first thing he thinks of.
Yeah.
Like he's afraid that he's gonna come off as a creep, or he's gonna get thought of as a sexual harasser or
Well,
something.
you get
and he's not.
recorded.
Yeah,
Like-
he's
like
gonna
you-
get recorded as well. He's gonna end up getting laughed at online. So yeah, the stakes are much higher now.
It changes the dynamic completely, and like, you can't just approach a woman and just have a conversation anymore. Everything
Exactly.
It's
What-
this
What you're,
changes the
com-
dynamic.
what you're competing for is worse. You're getting a girl who's 4 out of 10 with a fucking 8 out of 10 ego.
yeah.
You'll listen,
That's
darling, I'm way
fucking
out of your
that
league.
is so true, man.
Social media has boosted people's ego to the point where they feel entitlement without actually having anything to offer, and that is the biggest thing that's just frustrating.
Well,
Like,
you're
what are your
working-
biggest?
You're working twice as hard for something like fucking half as good as your granddad had.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
What's even worse is like, it's not isolated to dating. I remember having a conversation with someone a couple of years ago, like when COVID was still around and like the economy was just in the absolute shitter then. And they told me that there were a number of people that had started up like their own businesses on teaching Gen Z and Alpha how to speak on the phone because they have no social skill and they get
Oh my God.
serious anxiety just talking on the phone with people for interviews.
The-
And these people make 6 figures doing this.
Developing phone skills is so
Just
freaking
conversational
essential.
skills.
You-
They don't
even
have
that,
any
just-
conversational skills.
but just having
No,
the
because most of the
patience-
conversations come through text.
Exactly.
yeah,
They don't know how to actually communicate.
you
So,
don't
like,
get
it-
time to develop that.
Right. So it's like not even isolated to a dating issue. Like they just don't know how to, like, the amount of, like, I always like smile when I look at people when I pass them on the street because that's just how I was. If you make eye contact with someone, you acknowledge them, kind of deal, right? Or you say hello to people. Like it shocks so many people when I just say hi, how are you doing? Like when I go
How many
fucking
men?
pay for my grocery stores, she's like,
How
hi, how
many-
are you doing today? It's
I think
Well, Vex,
there's a
how
little
many
bit of
men-
fear mongering going on though, because we have to like men are in that generation are terrified to go speak to women, but we're saying that all women are whores. Like they're not. There are good women out there, and you have to sift through just like everything, and you will find a good person. But you have to develop the skills to go speak to somebody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Cynic
how
is
you-
right. Like most women, when you approach them and when you talk to them, they're just indifferent. They really don't care that much. And then you'll get a minority who show some interest, and then a minority of those will be really interested. But it's just most of them, they're not like the crazy bitches online that are going to
Yeah.
gyms and
Right.
scolding men for looking in their general direction. That's just a bunch of hoes on TikTok. That's not the vast majority of women.
They get conditioned
know-
to think that's all women though, and they get scared
That's
to
the
approach them
problem.
in any way. That's
Yeah.
the biggest issue. They think it's a fundamental
They do
thing about
they're-
females.
You guys pointed out like people humiliate people online for doing simple things like giving a note to someone saying like, "Hey, here's my number," and that terrifies people into doing anything. But the world's gonna fucking collapse if people don't get their shit together and get to fucking. So they need to
Are
get
you
to work.
excited for the fucking apocalypse? We'll all be 55, too old to fight off the Raiders.
Yeah. God. Back to super chats. Holy God. Grassroots says, follow up to the first, but I know people who hated each other's guts and got married over a date in a drive-in movie to Spider-Man 2.
Aw,
That's
That's
so
a good movie.
sweet.
yeah,
Now, why don't we make
Okay.
that a movie? Let's make that a low budget indie movie, right? With
right.
a nice happy ending.
Well, do you go like, well, Granddad felt up Grandma in the local theater. When she grabbed my gear stick, I knew we were in for a good night.
Flummox the Buffoon says, Reaper, do you like the Darksiders trilogy and the mobile Havoc game?
I like 1 and 2's the best. 3 was meh, and the Havoc games, it's okay. 2 is obviously the best.
Yes. Get to fucking people. We don't need population collapse. Go out and speak to a woman.
We just need orgies in the street.
Man, the pendulum's always swinging, right? So it's gonna come back around, and there's just gonna be, like you said, orgies in the street in 10 years. Grassroots says, I'll actually rob them if they make over $2 billion on Avatar 3.
Stick them up.
Does it
Gonna
even
happen,
have
man.
any competition this year? Like, is there
Never
anything
does.
coming out
There
of
never
Christmas?
is. Like everyone
always-
moves out of the way for Avatar movies, and then it's
Star
Yeah.
Wars line for them.
Yeah. So
Mm.
it. Also, I think James Cameron probably has so much power that he can literally just shove movies out of his release window.
Yeah, he has to
Yeah.
have so much push with the studios based on the results he's had in the past. Like he just
Yeah.
gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Well, haven't they greenlit like 6 Avatar movies?
I know I know they're gonna make 5. I think.
I thought it was
5
7
more,
in total.
yeah.
It's 5 more.
7 in
so
total,
it's
yeah.
the two
Fuck
we've
me.
got, and then 5 additional ones.
If
Ah,
James
Jesus.
hadn't lost his fucking mind with these blue people,
I know, man. Like,
imagine what he could have done.
because he is one of the great directors, and
Yeah.
he's wasted so much of his. He's wasted the end of his
Decades.
career with this fucking garbage.
Decades. What would you want, Despot, if you could pick a project for him to focus these last like 10, 20 years he's committed
I
to
would
blue
I would
people?
like him to do something just something original, something
Yeah.
that he's passionate about, not necessarily big budget, even like you could take it down to an indie level, but I would like to see something from him that isn't focused so much on spectacle and is a bit more introspective. I'd like to see where that goes. Maybe that would be complete dog shit because that's not what James Cameron's known for, but I don't know. I suppose that would be a waste of his genius, wouldn't it? Because his genius is spectacle, like what he did with Titanic. What I would like from him, really, is another big historical incident movie.
Yeah.
Like the Titanic is this huge event that happened in history, and it's massive spectacle. Something like that, but like what was that famous earthquake that destroyed Tokyo in the 1920s?
Oh,
Krakatoa or something.
Krakatoa. No, that's the big volcano, right?
Something, yeah, that's the volcano, but something like that, like a massive famous earthquake or something. I'd like to see a historical movie like that, you know.
9/11 romance. There we go.
That would be cool.
That's
I'd
the
like
one.
a 9/11 romance would be a really good one. Something like that, something like kind of Titanic, but a bit more interesting. I mean, I love Titanic, but something in that vein, which allows him to focus on a huge spectacle, but also to have that human story. But that's not going to happen because he's busy making a movie about fucking
Stupid
blue and
blue
red
people.
aliens.
Yeah.
Red.
But you said they're
They're
gonna be
gonna
red.
be yellow
so-
next.
they're gonna be
All
red.
the
So we're gonna make
colors.
all the money. It's just stupid.
Flummox says they did see Toxic.
Is it
Uh,
good?
Did you like it?
Yeah, was
Did
it
you
good?
not like it? Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
we'd love to know if Toxic Avengers any good. So if
Let me
anyone in the chat
know.
knows,
I think I'll
Um,
watch it regardless, but because it just looks like a fun movie.
Yeah,
either
it's
way,
if
so.
it's a sequel to the B slop of the 80s, bring it on. Wonder Girl says Avatar 1 came with a book that did the world building, outlining the biology and culture of Pandora. That and being 15 and uncultured is probably why I liked it at the time. But 2 had no reason to exist. Why is 3 happening?
Money. Cold hard cash.
2.3 billion reasons why they're making a sequel.
100%.
Sorry, just a Vedsilla's last cut. James Cameron's Columbine.
no. You've got to have like a gigantic explosive spectacle. Columbine's not
Yeah.
good enough.
Well, it would be great, but yeah, you're right. You need something bigger.
Cockwheat says Happy Labor Day. After that most recent Mr. Plinkett video, do I need to worry about RLM teaming up with Star Wars Explained to revive Acolyte?
What was the
No.
Plinkett video?
Yeah. it
Oh,
was
they
about-
did another one. Well, I think the
heard
Plinkett
about
video
this.
was that they needed to fill a release window, and so they released a Plinkett video that I guess they've been working on, where they could restate most of the points they've made in several videos prior, without really adding anything new, and then making some slightly strange observations about like the Acolyte being more like Star Wars than Andor is, for example. It's just not a particularly good video, and not funny either, which is always because you could disagree with old Plinkett videos and still find them entertaining, but this one was just a bit kind of
They're just kind of going through the motions, it feels like, in the last few years. Like from the Joker take all the way to the Acolyte take. It just seems very strange.
Well, you live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah, that's kind of their arc right now.
Jegs and Vohe's making sure $2 matters. I think Borderlands director doesn't care. Badlands director doesn't care about the Predator universe. Extended universe.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty right. That was pretty obvious when they put in a Weyland-Yutani droid, because that's only available in the non-canon to the Predator universe. So,
thanks for the super chat, man. Again, my cha says, "Here's money. Thanks for the streams." Well, thanks for the super chat. In Wolfsbane says Spielberg's exhaustion was from him just finishing the production of Schindler's List right before switching to Lost World. I do wish they kept in the deleted scenes and OG ending, though.
That's a severe whiplash moment, isn't it? Going from Schindler's List to the Lost World.
So, do we have to blame Schindler's List for the gymnastics kick?
We have to blame Hitler for why Lost World sucked.
Right.
God, that fucking kick.
I showed that kick on loop to my husband, and he's just
stupid.
He didn't know how to react because it was so dumb.
With no context, it's dumb. But when you understand really like the tension that it's ruining, like, and how much it derails the film, like, so dinosaurs aren't scary anymore. She could just kick them across the room. Like,
and there's a nice convenient spike for it to fall on.
Yes, it's perfect. And she lands like clean. She nails it. Oh God, I hate it.
Angry Sparrow sent in a sticker I can't see, but I appreciate it all the same. And that wraps it up for the supers. Now we'll wrap it up for BSUP. But remember, there is After Dark after this. If you just stick around, I think it leads right into the next stream.
I have set it up. I don't know how reliable it is at redirecting people, but it should.
And the link is in the description just in case. But before we head out, I will go around and thank the panel and see what everyone's up to. Starting with you, Mr. Brooks. What are you up to?
I am going to be re-releasing the horror video that I made a few weeks ago. It just got struck down by YouTube.
Yes.
Accidentally.
Excellent video, you guys.
Yes.
Really excellent video.
Definitely sucks having a video removed, but YouTube TOS makes up its own rules, right? So I'm going to release that in a couple days. And I also made a video on my other channel about the Raja Jackson situation, because I just found it disgusting and comparing it to other famous crash outs throughout history in the sports industry. And yeah, so anyone who's curious about that topic or saw the stream that me and Cynic did, definitely check that video out. It's a lot of details in there.
I watched the Raja Jackson video that Brooks did, and it is also fantastic. I mean, you just make good videos in general, but that was the best video I've seen on that topic. So
thank you.
What is that I want to watch that video, Jedi. What was that second channel where you talk about
just Jedi Brooks Live? It's not really like I focus on my main channel, but I didn't want to disrespect my audience by throwing that up, so I put it on there.
I was so disgusted by that video. I still haven't had that catharsis,
dude.
Yeah, we did a 2-hour stream on it the other week. Yeah,
you've watched the video that I made on that. I cover pretty much every detail you could think of, and I do a lot of comparisons to ones throughout history just to build up to how terrible this one was. So
and Reaper, I know you're still ill. I really appreciate you being here. Are you releasing anything though?
No.
Okay.
I've just checked. It's 85 days since I've released a video.
3 months. This man does not give a fuck about hitting 100,000 subscribers.
You're right. It's right there for the taking. It's right there.
Oh, Brooks is going to hit it before me.
No, fucking Christ, no, man, you're right there for it. But no, when the time's right, you can only make videos when the time is right. You can't be forced into this. Otherwise,
do what you will, Reaper. Despot, thanks for being here as well. Really appreciate your contributions, man. And are you releasing anything anytime soon?
Yes, I'm working on a video about the rise of Palpatine, and that will be out next week.
Excellent. And Vex, what are you up to, my dear?
Streams Sunday mornings usually. I discussed Sunshine yesterday. And then I'm working on an Edward Scissorhands video
Really?
out of nowhere. Yeah, it just I rewatched that movie a couple days ago while I was like getting my steps in, and I was like, wow, this movie perfectly demonstrates why women are evil. So I started writing a script on that. So hoping to get that out in the next 2 weeks.
All right. And Platoon, what about you, my friend?
I'm trying to have time to do stuff. I came back from a wedding yesterday. I have a wedding rehearsal this weekend. I have that wedding the weekend after. I'm flying back from Italy the weekend after that. It's my birthday the weekend after that. After which I might have some time. I took my Switch 2 away with me because I needed something to distract me from my family, and it caught fire. So that didn't work so well. So in the interim, they got back. Judas scripts, got to do those. And then somewhere in between all of this shit, Superman video is nearly done. And I am hoping that that will be out this weekend. Maybe. Hopefully. I don't know.
And as for me, I'm not up to anything. I released the Ironheart Supercut. Go watch that.
And that's
if
you done for the month.
All set now. I'm just kicking back.
Oh, there is still that Jurassic World video. I did do that. I just looked at it when I went into do the stream redirect for this one. I figured it just occurred to me I hadn't turned off automatic ad slots. Oh shit! Went in, checked that. Of course, I placed 4 adverts across that video, and YouTube has added 50,000. So I've got rid of all of those. If you want a relatively ad-free experience of the Jurassic World video, you can now go and watch it.
Damn.
So it's just every sentence is an advert.
Yes, it literally was just fucking carpeted with the fuckers.
Damn.
Wait, hold on, real quick. How did your Switch catch fire?
I plugged it in. That's it. It's just
all it took.
I was going to put it on charge earlier when I went out. Forgot to do it. Got back out of charge. Plugs in the charger to the top port, and smoke and horrible burning smells. So I very quickly unplugged it and haven't touched it since. So I've bought a new charger, and I'm going to try it later. And if it explodes, then I'm going to sue.
Well, you had no games anyway.
Well, I guess that will wrap it up for today. We will be back next week, but we're really not going anywhere because we'll see you on After Dark, everybody. So, yeah, guess we'll see you then. Platoon, take us out of here whenever you're ready.
Rightio. Goodbye, everybody. See you in a few minutes' time.
Goodbye. See you soon.
Yeah.